welcome to let's kick you off tonight's episode and not talk about zombie pigs. So,
Maybe I want to talk about
and
zombie
thank
pigs.
you for joining us for tonight's episode of the Doomed City of Granitegard here at the Guardtower Presents. And before we kick off tonight's adventure, as always, we're going to run through a little bit of business with you and then get into the fun and exciting portion of it. I had a DM this week where somebody was asking me about how to go back and watch any of the previous episodes. So easiest way to do that is to visit the Guardtower's YouTube channel. You can see all the episodes that we've had up to this point. Every Friday at 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, we always post a brand new episode. For me, the easiest way to get there is to actually use our Linktree, which is linktr.ee/dcog. Again, that's Linktree/dcog. And from there, you can also find all the social media platforms that we use, TikTok, Instagram. What else are we on, folks? So we got Discord server as well, and of course...
Join our Discord chat with us.
Oh, that's very true. You can actually
Please.
talk right to all the cast members there.
We got
Some
We
of us
sit
are more
here-
lonely than
we
others.
sit here all week.
They don't let me out unless somebody asks for me. Please message me.
But you can also find, of course,
Hashtag
links to
free
the Twitch
2023.
channel. If we're too
No,
well-
it's hashtag Skeech is free. You can take me home.
I would recommend. He's not really housebroken, so I would recommend against that. But anyway, you can
I've broken
find a link
many
to
houses,
the
I'll have you
Guardtower's
know.
Twitch channel there. Also, of course, their YouTube channel, as I discussed before, we can watch episodes of the Doomed City of Granitegard. But as well, they have unboxing videos there. They have game reviews. They have videos by the staff that shows you how to do pins, tricks, and secrets and things like that. So lots of amazing fun videos for you to check out as well. Tonight, we've got minis from some of our really good friends, Tony Thefferson. We also have Chris Wolfgang and the Guardtower East's Tony Maggio has contributed some skeletons for us this evening, so that should be fun when that pops out.
Wait, why?
Spoilers.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Phenomenal text
What
here.
kind of skeletons we talking
Name
about?
a
Scary
crypt
skeletons.
without skeletons. You cannot have
Nobody
a crypt
said
without
anything about a
skeletons.
crypt.
Yeah, I know this is the first
Oh,
time.
not crypt, but I
hearing.
mean a secret underground chamber, what have you. But anyway,
Cryptic.
oops. Oh, it's being cryptic, yes. I'm not the only one with dad jokes, as you can see. The Guardtower has certainly been very nice to us and presented us with the Warlock tiles that we're using for our maps. And with that, Chris Fields has dedicated a whole bunch of neat little enhancements to the maps that we're using as far as little features go. So thank you very much for that. And as far as your own tabletop goes, I would recommend going over to any of your local gaming shops, specifically the Guardtower East or West, or go to theguardtower.com for all of your needs. You can find all kinds of mapping stuff there. So if you are the type of individual that prefers like the 3D maps, like the Warlock tiles and like from WizKids and things, they've got plenty of those there. But if you like to do it old school, which is where I'm from, they have all kinds of maps that you can actually roll out and draw your own hand-done maps and make them look absolutely superb. Or if you draw like I do, people will try to spend half an hour, 45 minutes figuring out what you've drawn. But you know, either way, it's a good time with friends. So something else I also want to point out, and this is a really amazing announcement as far as I'm concerned, we are going to be at Origins. We actually have a room right there in front of Exhibit Hall A on the first floor. Room, I believe it is 120. Right off the bat, right in front, so you can come visit us. We'll be there all week, and that is June 21st through the 25th. However, Saturday the 24th at 4 o'clock, we are doing a meet and greet with the cast and crew. You can come in, ask us questions, say hello to your favorite members, you know, make faces at the ones you don't like so much, that kind of thing. But at 6 o'clock, we are also doing a live version of the show that night at 6 o'clock. Now, seating is limited, so you're going to make sure when you go onto the Origins website, registering for the event, that you do pick out a seat on that. So first come, first serve. Hopefully, we will see you there. If not, the rest of you will be broadcasting that on the Sunday night, so you won't miss out on any fun festivities as far as that goes. And I believe that's pretty much wraps up the business I've got. Roger, do you have anything else to add tonight?
I don't think so.
And I do believe it's that point where I say, who's ready to roll some dice?
We'll start now.
We will see you as we come back from the introduction and pick back up for tonight's adventure. Thank you very much.
Once the seat of economic and political power in the Northern Territories, the city of Granitegard fell in one catastrophic moment of terror and bloodshed. In the quiet hours of the night, the massive granite mesa that served as the city's namesake exploded violently, the debris reducing entire swaths of the city to ruin. Before the inhabitants could even comprehend what had happened, they were blindsided by an army of monstrosities surging from the sewers and into the city streets. The militia valiantly attempted to protect the fleeing citizens, but their efforts were futile against the overwhelming tide of bloodthirsty creatures. And in the midst of the chaos, the city gates slammed shut, turning Granitegard into a death trap for anyone that remained behind the high, fortified walls that had been meant to protect them. For over a decade, it has stood as silent as a tomb, and shrouded in a perpetual mist. No one has entered, and nothing human has ever come out. That is, until now. 12 years to the day since the fall of Granitegard, the Traitor's Gate has opened. The news has spread like wildfire across the human crescent. And like a siren's call, fortune hunters from far and wide have been drawn by the possibility of untold riches lying just inside the city walls, daring the foolish and the brave to risk it all at a chance of wealth beyond their wildest dreams. It has also stirred the interest of old rivals. With no one from the original bloodline to claim the mantle of leadership of Granitegard, plans are forming in the dark. Powerful forces seek to play their games of state, as the lives of everyone in the north hangs in the balance. And in the midst of this all, 6 strangers have been drawn to Granitegard by something other than riches or power. Their destiny is tied to the events surrounding the fall of the city. Each of them must confront the past in order to find a way forward. Each of them must search for answers in the doomed city of Granitegard.
Will you come
All
down?
right, and welcome back. So again, before we jump into tonight's adventure, we're going to take a look back and kind of look at some things that have happened here. So as we had left off last week, the party had cautiously crept out of the narrow, choking passageway that was formed by the fissure and had entered into a massive room. And as they attempted to sneak quietly through that room, past the 4 constructs that were in there waiting for them on those pedestals, the party had gotten about halfway across the room in the most vulnerable point that they could be in.
Cool.
And at that point, for some people, at that point, the small crystals that were embedded into the granite walls had sprung to life, illuminating the entire room in a blue light. But before we go on, let's kind of look back at how the heroes got here. So
You might be wondering.
you might be wondering exactly,
Record
unless
scratch.
you watched
Freeze
all
frame.
the episodes up to this point. But you know, just in case. Seeking Granitegard for their own personal reasons, 6 strangers have been drawn to Newtown, a settlement just on the ridge above Granitegard that formed after the collapse. The enigmatic Versigalis Rex brought these 6 strangers together in an attempt to find out what had happened during the calamity to cause everything to go on that had occurred. During their first escapade down to the shambles, the party stumbled upon the Two Flagons Tavern, where the goblins that were lurking inside had raided a local commune and kidnapped all the children. They defeated the goblins, but also discovered that children had been used to dig out tunnels beneath the streets where they had found a wall with a magically warded door. Deciding that discretion is a better part of valor, our heroes took the children back to Newtown because they needed medical attention and obviously did not to be around a combat area like that. Through several misadventures, unfortunately, they were a tad bit delayed, but ended up returning several days later. When they made their way back down to the tunnels, the door itself had been forced open with very cataclysmic results to the poor goblins that had tried to do so. Stepping through the opening, they came into a room and unfortunately activated a magical trap that caused a monstrous construct to hop out and attack the party. And this is the first time they'd ever encountered something as dangerous and as difficult as it was for them to overcome, and it actually resulted in 2 of the party members coming very close to death, but they were able to defeat the construct. Fortunately, they were able to get a bit of a rest and put themselves back together and continue to explore, which is where they discovered that this facility was an ancient elven, maybe experimental area where they were developing these constructs, but the most ground-shaking portion of it was the constructs were created out of the bones of very unwilling subjects. So the nefarious purposes of this place continue to be revealed as they press forward. And this is where we're going to pick up this evening. So as I stated before, the lights had just sprung to life and illuminate the entire room around you. And as you can see, there are these 4 constructs sitting on these pillars. And at this point, you are in this very vulnerable position in the middle of the room. There is the scorpion that you can see, and this time, none of the parts on it appear to be damaged. It is in full operational order. Sitting mounted atop that tail is an appendage that is very alien looking to you. It appears to be almost like this little flower blossom, the way it is closed up. It does definitely resemble a stinger, but it looks like the petals on it will open up to create something else. You can also see two arms that you had not seen before on it because it is raised up that appear to be manipulator arms that have very special tools built into them as well. You can also see the bone construct that you guys encountered in the first room. It looks just as terrifying as it had done there before. Just over from that is a very lumpy looking construct and very small and squat in its form, very round bulbous shoulders, and if you look, you can see it actually has three different arms that seem to rotate into a forward position for whatever it happens to be using at that point. The way it is sitting on it, almost one of those superhero style poses where it's down. One arm is rotated into this nasty looking spike, and the one that's on the ground looks to be a regular looking hand. Just back behind that is the one that really makes you shake in your boots. It is,
There's more.
yeah, it is twice as tall as the bone construct was that you first encountered, and it is literally made out of the nastiest looking spiked bones that you've ever seen. There isn't a single round or smooth feature on this. It is all sharp, jagged edges that look to simply be designed to impale whatever this thing happens to come in contact with. And the head of it looks to be constructed of a small reptilian style creature, almost like a dragon, the way the head comes forward with these strange looking horns that come out of the top. And again, all four of them are now standing there motionless. What do you do?
For framing purposes, we are still very much in a conga line. Is this?
Oh,
is
you
this
are
correct?
definitely in a conga line right now. Everybody's kind of frozen in place.
Everyone turned to the right.
A little favorite conga move.
And the lights turned on, and we just see all this.
Yes, you can see the whole room is lit up. And again, most of the lights are on the floor piece, which illuminates the edges. But next to each of these pillars are a cluster of these lights that do illuminate up onto the constructs as they sit there. And if you look up onto the ceiling, there are tons and tons of these small little crystalline things up there. You haven't had a chance to really look at what they're forming, but you can see that they're up there as well. So it does also illuminate the top of this dome ceiling. In the room as you're looking at right now, at the northern edge of the room is a double set of doors, and to the west side is a single door. There is a set of double doors to the south that are knocked open with, again, looks like a lot of that debris that had spilled down to that hallway that you saw before has also pushed open these doors from there, obstructing most of the way into that room that must connect to the south. What do you do?
Nothing's moving.
At this point, nothing is moving.
I press myself up against the wall.
I am like petrified, but I feel like I have to commune with my God like one last time before we all die. So I like think back to the time when I was growing up in church and stuff, and there was this song that used to comfort me, and I just start singing it. Okay, and I've prepared for it, so.
Please go ahead. Please go ahead.
Okay. One God, our help in ages past, our hope for years to come, our shelter from the stormy blast and
Can I-
our eternal hope.
Can I put my hand over her mouth?
Yes, absolutely. You can give that a shot.
I will help you.
I'm praying for some kind of guidance or like safety.
Who's holding on
I need to
directly
know.
behind me? Is the question.
I am actually gonna roll for you. I'm gonna
Yes,
roll two
please.
dice. Do you want teal or blue?
Teal.
So my first roll for the evening, Stas. All right, as you all begin to
Well,
reach
we
out
get that though, right?
to put your hand over Mary's mouth, your hand is stayed. As you reach out, you just stop as it comes forward. And as you look at her, you can see that all of a sudden her outline begins to slowly shimmer. And you feel your spirits uplifted. As a matter of fact, you feel very confident right now. What do you wish to do? You feel very at peace.
I feel very at peace. I feel like we're doing all right. I feel really compelled to like go to the constructs.
All right. Which construct do you feel like you want to go to?
I feel like the one God is telling me that there's nothing to fear. And so I'm gonna go to the biggest, baddest one.
The big spiked one?
Yeah.
Can I just disappear?
Well, it's happened before. Let's see what happens.
Reverend, this might be a good time for
Scatter!
That was
one
an
god
natural
to
20.
intervene
You have
here.
not- All right, you're gone. We'll deal with that in just a moment.
I'm gonna follow Damon.
Look, do we really need more than
So,
one
so
cleric
what
in this
happens?
party?
What happens to you when you get to the construct? What are you doing?
I'm just gonna like. Do I see it moving? Do I see anything
It
happening
has
as I'm
not moved
approaching?
it up to this point. No.
Okay. I'm gonna touch it.
Oh well, here we go again. And then I'm
All right.
Oh,
No, you can just like put your hand on it and smack it. You're
No,
gonna
no.
just reach out and touch it.
I'm just gonna like
I start
slowly.
moving towards
I-
the nearest door.
All right. So
We are continuing the conga line.
Sans
I take
Mary
a run.
and Sans Damon. As a matter of fact, where Damon went, you're not sure. It's a very broad, wide open room. You're like, where's Damon? As you reach out and touch the construct, nothing happens. And as a matter of fact, you can actually look. There's a placard right there in front of you in the Ancient Elven again.
Okay. So it looks like it's on display.
It looks like it's on display. Yes. It says spiked.
I can I read that?
Yes. It says spiked destroyer. If I get the mouth working, that'd be great too. It sounds much more intimidating when I can say that. A spiked destroyer.
Nothing happens when
Nothing happens whatsoever.
I want to look at the other ones. Do they all have placards?
They all have placards. The Scorpion says that it is a constructor unit. The first one that you ran into, the Minotaur-looking one, is a defender. And if you look over at the other one, it is a battlefield equalizer. And none of them appear to move whatsoever. As Mary is wandering around, examining the showroom.
Is anyone still in the room?
I whisper.
No.
I whisper across the room. Mary, this is the one God speaking to you. I saved you this one time, but please don't touch the merchandise anymore.
Guys,
Damon, from whatever position it is, wherever you are hiding in the ever-concealing shadows, you're just observing everything that is going on at this moment.
I'm not trusting it.
I think this
trust-
is a showroom of some kind. I don't think they're activated. Can
you
I see
think-
any crystals inside any of them?
You do not see any crystals inside any of them, as far as your. But it's hard to tell exactly.
These are
but
shells.
Could we discuss this in a different room, though?
Make me feel more comfortable as well. Yes.
Who's directly behind me?
everybody.
I mean,
You're at the head of the Congo line.
so it's just a big blob and everybody has a hand on me?
I'm not
Who's
sure.
directly
I thought
behind
Damon
me?
initially was, but Damon's
I'll be
not there.
behind
But I
you.
forget who
Okay.
was behind.
So I assume that you, at this point, will have noticed there's just tautness on the collar or the backpack where you're holding, as I've been trying to run since I shouted scatter.
There's little,
Yeah, I
there's
just
little
froze in. I was
skeets
just like
yeah.
from his
holding
feet,
still.
like it's like eat, as it's dragging across the floor. She's
Yeah,
trying
exactly.
Okay, so we established
like
this
little
was like
dust.
a super grand room, right?
to. Yes, it is very much a grand. It without a whole lot, even if you don't have a degree in architecture or anything along those lines, it is very easy to tell this room is designed to be impressive.
Okay. Is there any, like, we were looking for, like, paper and materials that would help us. Is there, like, any kind of desks or trunks or anything that I might find?
Go ahead and give me a perception roll, actually.
Ooh. 24.
24. Okay. So yes, there is actually a desk in here. However, it was not obviously initially in this room. When you look back at the confluence that has come out of that, the southern doors where they've been knocked off, in that massive pile of like sand and silt and rocks and stuff that have obviously spilt out from that hallway, is a jumbled desk sitting in that.
I'm going to check it out.
All right. Leaving your same perception roll on that as you go to investigate it. Looking through the desk itself, there was a lot of very expensive paper in here. It unfortunately has decayed and such over time. But it looks like there are also several books in here. Like they might have been accounting books, judging by what was on the cover as far as debts and credits. but they have basically, as soon as you go to like move the book, it literally crumbles apart at this point.
Oh, dang.
So what was in that room down there is kind of hard to tell. But again, there was a desk here that shows, obviously, that there was some work being done in that room that does not deal exactly with tearing people apart and harvesting their organs and bones and such. Probably more of the accountant's end of things, which is sometimes just as bad and horrible for people as taking their bones from them. Anyway.
Is there anything that I can read that's just like open? Like I don't want to touch anything
You
anymore.
also
'cause I don't wanna
find
destroy it.
this amazing gold coin about yay big around that is encrusted with gems around the exterior of it. It has sapphires and emeralds that run around the exterior, and there is this absolutely gorgeous female figure on the coin itself with elven writing that goes around the exterior of
Do
it.
I recognize the figure in the middle?
No, you don't.
Beg your pardon?
Well,
From
I don't know if it's like a
from your
god or
history
something.
readings and things like that you've done, no, you don't recognize the figurine on that, but you very much recognize from the history stuff that you've studied before that this is a coin from the Elven Empire.
Oh, really?
So this means this coin is at the very bare minimum at this point at least 400 years old.
Whoa.
So
I'm gonna take that.
you take it, and it is surprisingly heavy when you go to pick it up. I mean, it is.
It's solid.
When you look at the actual stamping that's on it, as far as it goes, in theory, it would have been worth 50 gold pieces for this thing back in the Elven Empire days.
So, what's on the papers that, Mary, I'm not gonna get close enough to look myself?
Can I see what they say?
Again, when you went to open the thing up, anytime you're touching those papers, they're literally falling
So there's
apart at
nothing
this
just
point.
like out.
No, again, when that flood or whatever it is must have hit here, it would have soaked everything and then rotted out down here, especially over 400 years of sitting below. So again, when you go over to look at the papers, you can see there's a lot of ink that must have at one point been written on it that is now melted across. But the booklet, not the booklet, the book, the tome that you went to go pick up, it said debts and credits on it. So,
Rather than going over towards the desk with the papers, I want to go nearer to the constructs, and I want to see if I can investigate if there's evidence or proof of them having moved their scuffs on the floor, evidence of there ever having been other type of fight or battle.
excellent. Go ahead and roll. That is
25.
25, nice. Again, using your skill base that you've got in the description that you had, you were pretty much rolling for success at that point because that was an excellent description on that. There is absolutely nothing that you can find, and which is very disturbing to you, to be honest with you,
It is.
of how they got put on the pedestals. Like there's no scuff marks on the floor, there's no dinks or damage at all to the pedestal itself.
Put together there.
I mean, like it almost looks like they must have just dropped from the sky onto the pedestals, as far as you can tell from anything.
Like a tenseness falls from Vaughn's demeanor. It's really just a display room. There's no sign of fights or battle like any of the other spaces.
What if they
It's
were
a-
put together in
It's
that
also at this
spot?
point you notice that there are several items, bars of metal, that are actually supporting part of the constructs to keep them standing upright and staying where they are. Like, not like you would have seen on the other ones that you see, again, like braces. Like, if you've ever been to a museum and seen like a dinosaur skeleton, kind of things along those lines to hold these things in place. I know at least one of you has been to a museum and seen that.
Could I investigate one of the plaques further? I just want to kind of touch around it and push it, see
Absolutely.
if it moves at all.
Go ahead.
Be a 13.
13. As Echo begins messing with the plate and kind of pressing around on it, nothing occurs, but Echo, your brain just click, click, click. You're looking at the plaque, you're like, that's made out of gold.
Is there?
What's going on? You look
These are
concerned.
made out of gold. We could. I mean, to afford some better armor for the future.
My interest has been piqued. And I begin to move into the room away from the door.
Is there a way to remove it?
They are held in place by, it looks like a set of very fine screws.
Hey, Skeech.
Skeech has been making his way after everyone seems to be approaching, and I get the okay from Vaughn towards the scorpion-looking one. Yeah.
And I'll point at one of the screws. If we can remove these, we might be able to afford some upgrades for everybody.
Well, don't they just give you stuff because you're the hero?
Not in my experience so far.
It's kind of a one and done type of thing.
So I saw what Mary did with appealing to the one God, and I say, I face this God of Smiths. I see what you've done for others, and I want that for me. Please give me the strength to remove this large piece of gold from this plaque and put it in my pocket. And you see that I pulled out a little trinket from my pocket, which looks like an anvil, clutching in my fist.
I have some concerns about us collecting and acquiring so many things potentially as we continue to head further in. Should we possibly make a cache of some kind for the things we've collected?
If I could just have a second. And further approaching the scorpion described construct, you said it had those set of fine manipulating arms with a bunch of little tools on it?
So if you're looking at where the head and the arms are, the pinchers, just below that where on a real scorpion you would have like the mandibles and such, that's where those arms are tucked in on it. So it looks like when it would go to work, the arms would then extend out and allow it to do whatever job it's doing and then tuck back in, while the larger arms for heavy lifting, things along those lines, would be able to be utilized.
Is there any way that I could steal the tools from below it?
You can certainly make a tinkering roll for that.
I would love to do that.
Skeech, can you reach? Do you need a boost?
I mean, yeah.
All right, okay, I give Skeech
Your
a boost.
tinkering roll basically is like your sleight of hand, same basis on that.
So that's going to be a 13.
13, you are very sure that if you have the time and the patience, you can get one of these things off.
If I could get this, and I don't know how helpful it'll be later if we want to make sure that we're safe. We can come back. I could use that.
You're guessing it'd probably take you about 40, 45 minutes to get it off nicely. You can do a hack job on it in about 10, 15 minutes, but there's no telling what the results of that might be. You might cause a bit more damage than trying to remove it cautiously.
Okay. Yeah, if we settle down and have a little breather, then I think I can get that off. But,
Hey guys, check out this gold, what is it, medallion I found.
Actually, it's a coin.
It's a
It
coin.
is an obnoxiously
wow.
large coin.
Does anybody recognize the woman on here?
Do I recognize it?
I don't know, do you?
I can take a look
like
at that
a-
coin for you. Why don't you just hand it over and I'll
I mean, I'll hold it. You can look, right?
Can I activate my goggles looking at the coin?
What's that?
Can I activate my goggles looking at the coin?
As far as the precious metals and stuff? Absolutely.
And can I roll history for it?
I'm gonna hand it to you to look at. Can you tell us what you see with it?
use your specialized ski.
It is,
Well, yeah, I built these.
Skeech, it is solid gold all the way through. The purity level on it is like remarkable. I mean, it's like 0.9999999%, like 99.99 all the way down. The emeralds are precision cut. The sapphires are precision cut on it. It is quite a piece.
That's really pretty.
Yeah, it's cool.
What did you roll?
History? That'll be a 19.
19. Illustria Solendir. And she was an elven queen of quite renowned repute amongst the elves. It is said that under her reign and her power, the Elven Empire acquired more territory and more converts to their cause than at any other point.
That's a coin depicting Illustria. She was somewhat of a conqueror. It was under her rule that the elves took all the land and people that are still now trickling back to others.
And how do you know that?
I've read more than 3 books, Reverend.
You got any of them on you?
No, they're gone.
Put a pin in that.
And just before we leave, so we had the Spike Destroyer, the Battlefield Leveler, the Constructor, and then what was the 4th one?
That is the Guardian, and that
Guardian.
was the one that you all had first encountered.
Yep, my old friend.
Well,
Yeah.
well,
You hold me down.
Oh, yes, absolutely.
as a businessman myself, it seems like this was a showroom of some sort. That in of itself would not be very disturbing, except we previously ascertained how these creatures were created. What I'm saying is they was cutting folks up to make these creatures and then sell them.
If any of you are going to do a medical check, you can definitely identify things out of the bones where they might have come from.
This falls in line with what you've shared, Echoes. Under her reign, they expanded, collected more people to their cause.
Yep. Don't think it was willing.
If anything, this is a display of power, bringing folks here to show them. Fall in line or deal with these.
The thing that concerns me is that what has brought us all here, the city has opened up. If the people that were once living here are back, well,
But they're all dead, except the one.
we don't know
We
that.
know of.
That is true, but
Out of the shadows.
they're back, the elves.
Well,
Damn it.
Wait, you don't think that this is just someone capitalizing on old elvish knowledge? Like, you think this could actually be the elves?
I don't know.
I checked the room and it's old.
Oh.
It keeps coming back to my previous point. If someone else knew that this was here and they've been using, well, you were used yourself in an attempt to get down here. I do not believe their cause was nearly as just as ours, seeking to use these constructs for who knows what type of war upon the surface.
That one over there is called what? The battlefield what?
Battlefield Leveler, yes.
I've been around, not a military man myself, but I've gotten acquainted, and I don't think there's a force on the continent that could face off against these. Whoever possessed these would, well, I don't think they should.
I also hope that the knowledge to create these has either been lost or we find it and we can destroy it.
Well, if it's anything like those books over there, not going to be hard.
There's always the option, if you find someone smart enough, you could reverse engineer it if you can get a hold of one of these. So it might not be a bad idea if we have time to dismantle these ourselves.
I agree.
But I think we need to keep looking. Your idea of a cache, it could be this room. We know it's safe for now. We can come back here and rest once we've checked out the rest of the place.
Very well.
Like that.
That's fantastic. I'm going to take all but one of the metal bars out of my bag and stow them in the desk. Yeah.
That certainly makes it a lot easier to move around.
Yep. And also, before we head out, I just want to take some time and just look at these constructs while we're out of the heat of battle, just see where the joints are, where any like weak spots are, just like, yeah.
I would like you to make,
Yeah. Oh, that would be amazing.
do it with advantage, since Vaughn said he was going to help you with that.
Call it out.
Let's
everything.
go
Okay,
ahead
great,
and make that an
perfect.
investigation
Okay, great.
with advantage. Go ahead and make that roll.
Perfect. Yeah. Whew, got this. Okay. Oh, great. Natural 19. And that's all she wrote. Yep, it's a
All
19.
right. So
Yeah.
19, you and Vaughn begin really deeply analyzing these constructs. And as you're looking at them, you're noticing several weak points that could possibly be exploited on them. what you do notice is all of them except for the Guardian seem to have a port where a piece could open up where the crystal could be placed in to automate
Okay.
them. The Guardian is the only one that does not have a crystal port. What it does have is on its back, looks to be a point, and now you kind of realize from where you had fought it before, of where, especially when you watch that arc of energy come out of the crystal and hit it, it was always striking at the same point on the Guardian. Now you see that point where it was striking. So what you assume is that one crystal can keep multiple of these Guardians going.
Oh, no.
Because the Guardian itself would have a energy source connected to that crystal. All the rest of them seem to have housing units that would contain their own individual crystals.
Okay.
And the spiked one has the largest compartment for a crystal. Almost a man-sized crystal could be stored inside this thing. So, from here, are you all going anywhere? There's again the double set of doors that lead north, and there's the door to the west.
The
Or
double
you can
doors are across from where we came in.
So where you came in would have been the southwest corner. So as you came out, if you are looking north to the top end of the room, that's where the double set of doors are. Along the wall to your left, as you would first come in, would have been the single door to the west. There's a set of double doors to the south, which would have been just to the southeast where you are. That is where that confluence has come out and where the desk is sitting. That hallway appears to be mostly obstructed, but you might be able to dig your way past into that room. It's hard to tell from this angle.
Real quick, while they were talking, can I go up to each of the doors, not open them, not touch them, but try to hear if there's anything on the other side?
Yes, absolutely. Go ahead and make a perception.
13.
What's that?
13.
You feel very, very confident that there was nothing moving around on either side of these doors. What you do hear to the west door is you don't hear it. You feel it as you're putting up next to the door because the granite that would normally have closed down to close it has a bit of a gap. It looks like there might be something that has interfered with the mechanism inside. It is open just a bit, and you could feel the pull of air coming from the room that you're in going through that door. Like the air is being, like again, a natural draft is pulling in from there.
Well, which of these doors do you think is least likely to get us killed?
I'm going to reappear.
And literally, like Batman, out of nowhere, Damon's back.
There's a draft coming from that one, and I'm going to point at the west door.
Oh, that could be the exit. Usually, the air gets pulled out, so.
Makes me wish to check the other one first.
Oh, smart.
And if we're gonna take another exit, there's no telling where that thing leads.
Shall we go through the big set of double doors then?
Double doors.
Double doors.
All right. Open up the double doors, and there is this long hallway that goes down. You can, as you're talking, you can hear it echo your voices down this long hallway till obviously hits sort of terminus way far at the other end of in the darkness. But as you step into that hallway, the light begins to illuminate a little bit down. And again, you can see the polished marble. But here in this hallway, painted on the marble itself, are frescoes that go all the way down that direction till they fade into the darkness.
Do they appear to be depicting a historical event or a story?
Absolutely, they do.
Can I interpret, or
You're going to have to walk down a bit as it comes into view, and you can begin looking
I'll
to
have
interpret.
Sky kind of go ahead to be my eyes and ears and nose, and I'll
Throw
just.
the junk.
Can I
No, it's okay.
can I help him to see if this is something I might recognize from some books
Absolutely.
that I read?
I will let you roll, whichever one of you decides to do it, I'll let you roll with
Split the sides of
advantage.
the hall?
Given the two of your backgrounds, like I said, I'll let you guys roll with advantage on that. One of you decides who's going to make the history roll.
History? I'll do it.
Yeah, go for it.
Come on.
7 was the highest.
7. Maybe it is because
Failed us.
of the age and the humidity in the air and the damage that has been done to these frescoes because of that it makes it difficult. You're not able to interpret everything, but what you're seeing here appears to be hundreds and hundreds of years of conquest of the surface world. And there is a huge, massive chunk as you get to the end of this hallway, right before it opens up into this large room in front of you, where there's a large blank spot on the wall that looks, it has a couple of dwarven keeps and stuff that are etched into it that haven't been painted in yet. It looks like somebody was prepping for a glorious victory.
So, but I know that it was difficult to read, and I only get a...
You know that you have missed a good chunk of the data, and not because of that it is mostly because of the damage that has been done over time to these frescoes because of the moisture in the air.
I'm not going to tell them that. I have the absolute utmost confidence that I have correctly interpreted these frescoes.
Echo's backing you on it as you begin to interpret these things.
I did have 2 questions.
Yes.
One, can we see the Queen Elistria depicted anywhere on these?
You not only see her, but several other ones. Unfortunately, you can't really recognize who they might have been because of the damage on the wall. But you definitely see her. And this is not a queen that sat back and sat on her throne and told the armies to go forward. This is a queen that is right there on the front lines, towing the line with her soldiers.
Do I see any male figures dressed in more leathers, lighter armor, or robes?
Oh my goodness, I know exactly where I think you're going with that. I would like you to give me a perception check.
Okay. 9.
No, you do not see anything.
Get them rolls out now, folks.
Yeah.
My last question was, Vaughn, do you see anywhere on these frescoes depicting Granitegard at all? Do you recognize it, any of them?
I can take a look and see if there's anything, terrain maybe, things like this.
Any
landmarks and
yeah.
various things the like. Gladly, a moment. Walk
Actually,
backwards.
both of you go ahead and give me a perception. Reverend and Damon.
Why would I do that? I've never been to Granitegard before.
No, but trust me on this.
12.
12?
Ooh, perception? Dirty 20.
Nice. Both of you recognize landmarks. You recognize the Dune Sea, and you recognize the Lorne Valley, which is this gouge in the earth that is probably the most fertile land in all the Western kingdoms. More blood has been spilled trying to take this land than anywhere else because of the high yield of crops. And it is said many moons ago that was a battle where literally thousands and thousands of elves and humans all died. It was one of the final points before the human empire, so the human tribes collapsed and were enslaved by the elves. And it said it is because the blood that was spilled there is why that the lands are still as fertile as they are today.
But at Echo's behest, I'll look for symbolism for around Granitegard area, terrain, anything stands
Okay.
out. 9.
9. All right. You're looking and you're kind of just absorbed in what's going on. And as you're looking, you walk out into the room. And as it happens, again, as you're kind of paying attention, you're looking at the frescoes, the room itself illuminates, and before you is a map etched into the granite on the floor. And as you stare at it for a moment, you can see that Vaughn is frozen in place looking down at this. And the wheels are turning, and then Vaughn turns around and motions you all to come into the room.
I think I found something you all might like to look at.
Oh,
Quickly.
all right.
Sorry, which room?
At the end of the hallway,
Okay,
yes, this is the room that terminates there.
Yep.
And as you walk into the room, it is a map of the local area where you can see where the Traders Road would have run. You can see the caldera that forms the circle around where Granitegard would be, you can see the plateau, and you can see a different city there. The plateau, the reason why you recognize it is just again where it's juxtaposed on in that caldera, but it is so much larger than it is today. Mostly because of all the harvesting and things like that humans have done to it over the years. But the city that's there is not the human city. It is a very different looking city that is mapped and laid out. It does not look at all like those of you that have any recollections of Granitegard would recognize as Granitegard. But none of the buildings are in the same location. The buildings don't even look anywhere alike. And you can see that the bay looks different than it is now.
It's similar enough. Obviously old. Sorry, it's challenging for me to get my wits about me. I only have so much context. To be quite honest, I was never keen on maps, map making, or tracking in that regard. It's obviously this area. I just can't make heads or tails as to the specific orientations.
Well, we know this place is real old, so maybe it's what this place looked like a long, long time ago.
If this is truly to be the city that was here before, a map of at least the local area, and we are currently in this underground tunnel system, I hope it's not too much of a stretch, but I'm curious. The human empire more than likely built their roads and their buildings atop similar infrastructure. If we pay close mind to this, we actually may be able to find other ways through and into the current city.
Oh.
Can I make an investigation check to see if I can put my mind into that and see if I can find similarities or other ways in or out and around?
Absolutely.
I also would love to look to see how it lines up specifically with the different quarters.
Because you guys are doing it together again, I'll let you make a roll with advantage. One of you must make the choice who's going to do the roll.
Vaughn, if you'd rather, I feel like you're more skilled in these areas, but this would be where the traders quarter was, and
excellent point. And over here on the district, you can see where it connects to the map.
And that's the zoo.
I was laughing for the zoo, not for the roll, so don't worry. 22.
22. All right, the two of them begin having this conversation back and forth about Granitegard that seems like they have a whole lot of memory of the city.
This must be
They're
where the gardens
exchanging,
were.
like,
Yes,
again,
yes,
very
right
pointed.
there.
However, you all don't really discover what could be a possible way in, but what does kind of rattle you a little bit as you're looking at the relief map there, also looking at the other frescoes and stuff that are up on the wall itself that are not anywhere near as damaged as that hallway appears to be, most likely because of the way the hallway is shaped, it trapped more of the moisture than the larger room that you're in right now. The foundation is what you all suddenly stumble on and are like really fascinated by. While the buildings are not in the same location, the actual outline of where the city is follows very close to what the city walls outline of Granitegard today. Almost like the city was erased and they simply built the human Granitegard atop it.
Well, challenging enough to make out more inferences than we've already called down similarities, but we were right to suppose our history is not much cleaner than theirs. We eradicated that and built upon it.
So I'm just wondering. I know we've seen evidence of a flood. Does the shape of the bay look at all change from a huge flood came through? Or?
It does very much look different.
Does it say anywhere what the name of the city was?
Oh.
Is there a label or
some sort of key?
Yeah, maybe not even
Legend of sorts.
on
Exactly,
on the floor around. I'm gonna look for evidence of any labels, descriptions, titles of anything in this room.
Lol in Eldel is the name of the city. And for those of you that have the ancient Elven on there, it is the City of Strength.
City of Strength.
Mm-hmm.
And have I heard of this before? Have I read about it?
That you would have to do a history check on.
No, 4.
4. Unfortunately, at this moment, you're not recalling anything about that. Maybe it's the excitement. Maybe you don't know. You're just like, I don't really remember anything about that.
What else is in this room besides like the map?
All right, looking in the room, on opposite sides of each other, about halfway up each of the east and west walls, is a double set of doors. There's the double set that you came in through the south, and in the southwest corner is a single door. And again, this room is in direct alignment with the display room that you all had come out of to the south. So literally all you guys did was walk basically what you believe is due north. You're underground, so again, the directions are a tad bit hard to figure out. I'm using east, west, north, all that to just kind of make it a bit of a frame of reference to make it easier for you all.
Just in case, there's no like "you are here" star on the map, right?
There is no "you are
Listening to
here."
this,
Yeah,
right?
like, oh, excellent.
You know,
Yeah.
Yeah, unfortunately, there
Everybody's-
is no "you are here" map.
Bummer. Okay,
you know.
cool.
Everybody's kind of seen things that look familiar to them and talking about the stuff on the wall. Is there anything that reminds me of the Merc lowers down here? I'm looking for a familiar mountain underneath the frescoes or anything like that.
No, not that.
Moving
but
the
actually,
helmet out of the way.
Skeech, if you want to drop a perception, I'll let. There
Sure.
is some detail here that you might find interesting. So.
How many doors did you say there were again?
That is all 3 of it.
Aw.
The little crust of drool comes down. You're like,
Oh, it's a map. Okay.
How many doors
What's
did you say
that?
there were again?
There are a total of 4 doorways out of this
Okay.
room. There is no doorway to the north.
Picture sketch.
There is one to the east and west that are double doors.
Okay.
The one to the south is a double door that you all just came out of. And there is a single door to the southwest corner of this room.
I want to
We're
head
in the
towards
land.
that
Why
one,
do we need a
the
Okay.
southwest,
Just look
and
at
I
it.
want to. I want to see if the door has any traps,
Okay.
and then I want to press my ear against it to see if I hear anything on the other side.
Go ahead. Perception, please.
19.
19. As David begins checking out the door frame, you can see it has that same little piece in the wall where you would put your hand where it would slide open. And as you put your ear to the door itself, it opens. It does not, no traps come and destroy you and set you on fire or jaws come out and eat you. You're not quite sure why it opened up, but the door itself opened, and it didn't open fast, it just goes and slides back up under the wall.
I'm gonna back up a little bit.
Motion
Again, you
sensor
can kind of
out.
feel the air pulling out of this room and towards that room. Towards the hallway in front of you. It begins to light up, and you can see that it goes down and then takes a sharp turn to what would be your left. But before that, about halfway, appears to be another hallway without a door.
What do you see?
A new hall. Again, another hall.
Quite liberal.
Another one.
Maybe a map.
More maps.
It was a guess.
At this rate, you could be right.
So, is this building we're in, this showroom, this map room, was this all on the surface before the humans built on top of it? Or was this always underground? Is there any way we can tell?
Skeech, are you able to discern that?
Well, actually, if I look at the structural integrity of the building, if I could take a second and just kind of think with all the earth that's on top of us, if it was built for that, then it would handle it. Well, there has been some cave-ins, so if I could take some time and examine the...
Are there
Mhm.
windows or skylights or anything that would be completely impractical? That would be,
You know, we didn't see any yet.
that is
That's
true.
true.
I don't think so, but would
Go
you like
ahead.
me to make an investigation on that?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Can I say I was helping him?
Yeah, okay, I'll let you help him out, sure.
That's going to be a 16.
16, you have seen no evidence in this place that there would be any way to look out to look at anything. The only items that you have found that appear to be egresses out are more like, again, the chimney piece for the furnace, the shaft that looked like it might have been to bring things up and down, and that is about it that you have seen at this point in time.
I think it was always meant to be underground.
space concern for the city above, or something that they always intended to have away from prying eyes?
Well, if I was chopping people up and making them into constructs, I'd probably not want anyone to see that either.
Yeah, I'd want to show everybody. But
I keep that to myself.
I'd show that to everybody.
All right. Well, we will come back and see you folks here in a few minutes after our break. Please do stick around and join us to see what happens next. There's always something exciting around every corner. Thank you very much.
more
We'll see you here
hallways.
shortly. And welcome back. Thank you for joining us. Before we jump over, actually, I was really impressed by some of the role playing that we had, and I'm going to award Mary a DM inspiration token there. So you can cash that in at critical moments. So definitely hang on to that. And we're going to go ahead and proceed on. As we had just talked about, Damon had accidentally opened up that single door that exposed another hallway that seems to connect to yet another branching hallway. So we have like hallway inception going on here. So Damon, what are you doing?
Can I sneak down the hallway and peek? You said there was so down the hallway, you said there was a room with no door?
As you're looking, the hallway continues straight down, and it takes this real sharp turn, probably about a 45-degree turn to the left, and disappears. But about halfway down, before you get to that, is another hallway to the left that literally is like a 90-degree T intersection there. It does not appear to have a door that separates it. Literally, just like you would turn and go down that direction. If you want to sneak that way, you certainly can. You would need to make a stealth on that.
Yeah, I want to sneak that way.
Go with my blessing.
And you go with the Reverend's blessing, and didn't say no. 15. Not your best performance. Like as you went to go sneak, the Reverend puts his hand, go with my blessing. You're like, oh, and kind of throws you off your game there, your little A game a wee bit. But sometimes the best of intentions. As you're sneaking down again, you're not making anybody else in the group that is not as trained as you would be certainly pleased with their performance. You're like, oh, I can't believe I made that sound. Everybody's like, I didn't hear anything. You move down, you get all the way up to that T, and you look down, you can see there's a series of doors that line this hallway. Some are more intricate than others. There's a placard up on the wall right next to you here, written in that strange gobbledygook that's on there. If only it gets write it in like a regular language, right? Come on, man. What you also do see is down towards the end of this hallway, because again, those little flakes begin to light up, is a ton of flood damage at the end of this hallway that appears to be blocking off the very end of this hallway. It looks like there are more rooms. Most of them look to have been damaged by that flood debris that has come out of them.
Okay. And this the 45-degree angle?
This is the 90. This is the 90.
Okay, I want to sneak back to the main hall.
Mm-hmm.
Sneak and continue on to do the 45.
Very good. As you continue down, you get to the 45, and you look. It bends down the hallway, and there's a door way down just before it takes a 90-degree elbow off of that at the very end. Looks like that it doesn't really terminate, but it goes down, and that's where it makes a turn. There's one other door between here and there.
Okay, I'm going to sneak back to the group. All right. There's so many hallways, but from the ones that I was able to see without straying too far, the first one, there's quite a few doors, and there's a plaque. I personally cannot read it. I don't read whatever language that is. I'm assuming it's ancient Elvish because that's all we've been seeing. Then there's flood damage. The next hallway that takes a turn, all the way down at the end, there's a door, and then once again, it turns into another hallway. I'm assuming it's another one.
That's the second most produced object down here.
Yes.
Hallways. Where do you think we should go then?
Well, anybody that can read the plaque should read what that says first, see what that means, and then we make our decision from there.
Very well. I'll gladly run down there and check. You didn't see anything else?
You said there was multiple doors, right?
There are multiple doors within that 90-degree area.
I mean, there's multiple doors within that the 90 degrees.
Yeah.
There's multiple doors within the area with the plaque.
And the plaque is on the outside before you go into that 90-degree area. So you're going to go down and take a look at that.
Go read some signs.
All right. Reading the sign, it says living quarters, and then beneath that there's like a slash that cuts it in half. At the bottom of that, it says dull dcog on it, and that translates to the head dissector.
There is a moment where Vaughn very, very much wants to just go inside that door right now. I come back and let you all know. It seems primarily living quarters. However, one of them does appear to be that of, they used a different word, the individual in charge here, the head dissector.
Now, hold on a minute. Is that the head dissector or the head dissector?
I do not believe they were a specialized individual. I believe they were the leader in charge of dissections.
Actually, in the Elven terminology, it'd be very easy to tell the difference between that. Again, much like
Comma placement.
yeah, well, like the way the difference between Latin and English and words.
Vaughn proceeds to explain to you the nuance between this.
Now,
It would
see,
mean
this is
lead.
the subjunctive. Yeah.
Yeah, not that necessarily doesn't dissect heads, but this particular person would be the lead individual for such a task.
It's surely possible they had someone who did that role as well.
Yeah, operation like this, it takes all kinds. I'm sure there was the one guy who was in charge of just the head, but that's probably not important.
If we are to find anything within these halls, granted I understand it may be trash at this point, I'd very much like to check that room out. Junk, excuse me, that was slip of the tongue.
Yes, I think that sounds fabulous. Let's go look at the head dissector's room.
I'm gonna send Sky ahead to just kind of give each door a sniff and just to see if there's anything alive or not before we head in. Yes, the sniff test.
All right. Go ahead and give me a perception on that.
Wow.
Good, huh?
That's a 7.
All right. Sky does not detect anything that appears to be dead. Try that again. That does not appear to be alive. My bad. Does not appear to discover anything that is alive.
Okay.
Oops.
So we go up to the door, the head dissector.
Yep.
Maybe there's some gold inside.
All right. As you stand in front of the door there, you can
Hopefully there's
see,
some answers.
unlike the other doors that are lining this hallway here, this particular door, all around the exterior of the door, someone has taken a lot of time and energy to carve into the granite these very, very intricate branch and leaf patterns that snake up and around the actual door frame itself. And again, over the top of it, you see that dull dcog, written very fancy. And actually, again, it is engraved into the granite itself. So again, a lot of time and energy was spent on that as well. The door itself is also, unlike the other ones that you've run into that slide up and out of the way, that have all just been flat. This has also been decorated in that very woodsy sort of look, as far as you can see where they actually got detail on the bark of the branching and things like that on it. I mean, like hundreds of hours worth of time carving into the granite on this door.
I'd like to examine and see if there are any kind of magical wolds or traps that I could discern.
Absolutely. Go ahead and give me an Arcana. Your strongest suit, I'm assuming.
11.
11. You feel very confident that you do not discern any wards or traps on the door.
Again, absolute most confident. No arcane traps at all. I bet my reputation on it.
Then you open the door first.
Vaughn's already reached for the door after the reverence blessing.
Do I notice any symbols left for me in the tree kind of pattern?
No.
Okay. Good to go.
So Vaughn's reached for the door.
All right.
Put your hand on it.
Oh yeah.
The door opens up, and this is obviously the first time in a long time this has opened up. Again, there's exchange of air. And when it does so, this smell wafts out of the room of just old decay is the best way to describe it. Not like the rotten meat smell or something like that, but just like something just this old earthen smell inside the room. like it has been a long time. And looking in, you can see the room kind of begins to illuminate. At the far end is this really intricate fireplace, and it has some debris that has obviously come out of the fireplace itself. Again, that flooding in the room. There are some dressers, there's a table, there's a bed, and in the room you can see 6 bodies laying on the ground with another body that is kind of leaned up against the bed, super emaciated looking, and just laying there in the room.
I would like to go look at the bodies.
Okay.
Can I do a medicine check on
Absolutely.
these guys?
Wow. When you say table, is it just like a normal table?
Looks
or
like
does it
a
have
like a
drawers?
desk type of table. Judging by the way, again, it is table shaped, but it looks to be like a writing desk type of table.
Can I go over to the table and start feeling to see if there's like any like secret drawers that are not the normal ones that you would like pull out?
Absolutely, you can do that. What did you make in your
I
roll?
got a 17.
17. You immediately pull your hands back away from the body, and you're like, oh my goodness. There's been a transformation to all of these bodies that has been done. And these were definitely elves at one point, but at some point they succumbed to something that had transformed them into ghouls. But it looks like they had been alive for so long, they finally ran out of whatever that horrid energy was that would have kept them alive has left. And now their bodies refuse to rot, or rather, nothing will even touch them to break them down.
Do they look familiar at all?
These are,
They don't.
they
okay.
do not look familiar to
Okay.
you.
right.
None of these.
Okay.
So, Damon, what happened with you?
That was a 1.
A 1. Our
no.
first chance for the evening.
It's a
So let's.
Yeah, the whole room though.
It's just a 1 in 6 chance for a critical failure. I mean, come on.
Oh
We're
God.
safe.
We're safe. All right. As you begin to move through, you see, just as you're pushing apart, you see this paper with all this writing on it, and as you push it aside, you're like, oh no, and it just kind of crumbles. And you're like, ah. But underneath it is a bunch of super shiny coins. As a matter of fact, there are 12 coins sitting here, none of them quite as large as what she found, much smaller ones in various denominations. Can't really read what it says on there, and there are 2 quartz orbs sitting on the table.
Bond took 2 points of emotional damage from that paper.
A single tear.
all of a sudden, because sidle up very close to Damon. Ooh, look what we found here! Some gold coins. I'm gonna investigate these.
I'm gonna smack his hand.
Smack it.
You didn't say no.
Don't touch.
Mary share with the bodies, like you said, they've been transformed.
They have been transformed. It looks like they were previously elven, but they are now like ghouls.
Oh my.
And they're not breaking down.
So we just gotta edge forward and take a look, just to see if there's anything that might remind him of the House of Wellness.
No, nothing here that at all reminds you of that.
Is there any of that paper that I accidentally disintegrated still, there? that
Yes,
I can
there are some
read a
edged
little?
works on it that have some nice, beautiful artwork along the edges.
If Vaughn notices that Damon is attempting to look for more paper, I will sally over there quite quick. There's a method to this. Just be delicate. We don't want to lose any of this.
Yes, because I totally did that on purpose. My main purpose here was to destroy everything everybody's looking.
Don't do that.
Well, you're doing a really good job of it. Bravo!
All right, so as you clap like that, the crystals, the 2 round crystals, the quartz thing, flash for brief moments each. I mean, it's a white light, and then on and off, on and off.
We're receptive to positive feedback. You're doing great.
And every time he's clapping, they're coming on and off.
You have to compliment them.
I think it has more to do with sound.
Oh.
How large are they?
Each one of them is about the size of a child's fist. You grab them both or just one?
I'm not greedy. I'll take just one.
He's gonna try to grab the other one.
I'm
you
going
go.
to stop you.
I don't like the look that Will just gave me.
Is there any?
Do you need the light? Then don't touch it.
How many gold coins?
Not touching
There are
things. Good
12
advice
gold
to
coins
be given to all.
of varying worth.
Could have turns this way.
Is there any kind of like
Rifling through.
fancy design or patterns in anything? Maybe in the bed, maybe in the walls.
So
Anything?
the fireplace was like
Yeah.
very ornate.
Is there anything that's depicting something like those frescoes?
Nothing at all like the frescoes in here whatsoever. But again, this room is very nicely outfitted for being in this disturbing place.
There's still a bed there.
That's what the one that looks different from the rest of them is laying up against, like almost like halfway in, halfway out of that bed.
Okay.
Can I look under the bed?
Mm-hmm.
I'd like to.
There's nothing under the bed.
Dang it.
And the one on the bed, he's just regular old elf, right? He's just.
No, he looks very similar to the other ones, but slightly different. Again, something undead, definitely. But it looks like they've been undead for so long, they're now dead. Everybody's got a battery, you got to charge it somehow. Theirs wasn't charged.
And this
Yeah, rededited.
fireplace,
Mhm.
there's still a flame in it?
No.
Okay.
There's no. So you're going to look into the fireplace? Okay. Perception, please.
Finally. 19.
Wow. Okay. Echo begins poking around the fireplace and makes a very chilling discovery. And there are all kinds of bones in the fireplace. And the bones all have a lot of knife wounds and such. And you can also see gnaw marks on them, where some of the bones have even actually been cracked open.
Okay. I'll take some of the bones, and I'd like to bring it over to the corpses of the ghouls and compare their...
Matches up very well to the teeth marks.
Whoever was feeding these things... I don't know why, but... This is messed up.
Agreed. Well, I've seen enough. As this was going on, I attempted to pocket those 12 gold coins on the table. If I may.
Give me a sleight of hand.
Can I see if I see him trying to do this?
Go ahead and give me a perception.
16.
19.
Ah.
You just watch him go.
Hand called in the cookie
I'm
jar.
gonna smack his hand again. And this time I'm going to take the coins.
I'm broke, Damon. Don't you believe in charity?
Didn't you also lose everyone else's gold?
You know what? I think it's time for us to move on.
You would say that, wouldn't you?
I did just say that.
Hey, Damon. Why does he get to have an orb and I don't?
Here, you want the orb? Here you go. Have the orb. Since I got scolded. No.
Please do not misinterpret my
I'm gonna walk
overzealousness
towards the door. I'm
for
ready to
The
leave.
papers and the research calls out.
I'm not listening.
So,
Damon's like, la 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 la
He
la
seems
la la.
upset.
I think it's because that last sojourn down the hallway wasn't quite as elegant as some of their other sojourns.
I'll try to cheer him up.
I think that's a great idea.
He like holds his tongue.
All right, so
Yeah.
so he's stomping off. We're following after him.
All right, where are you going, Damon?
I'm going back to down the hallway to the 45-degree angle to the other door.
All right. investigating this room that you come into right there, it looks like a shower room. There, well, not a shower room, but a bathroom. Not baths. Sorry, like baths, like not like I would go to the bathroom here. Like, you know, there are actual tubs and stuff like that. And it looks like this must be where people that live down here would have performed their hygiene and such. There are also some wash tubs and stuff like that. You can actually see there's some shelves where there were some robes and things like that put on there. Obviously, they've decayed over time, and the room is quite empty.
This is where they washed all the gore off themselves.
I don't know if those ghouls were doing much of washing anything. So they just burned whatever they didn't eat.
Speaking of the ghouls, as everyone was filing out of the room, I wanted to kind of trail last, and just using some of my knowledge of undead, and see if I could get an understanding or an idea of what had caused them to turn, what that had been like.
Okay.
24.
Okay. There are multiple ways that ghouls can be created. And this particular looks like a desperation. Obviously, given the emaciated state of all these things, it looks like something pushed them over the edge, almost like the Legends of Wendigo. But again, much like the Legends of Wendigo, if you're not feeding it, over time it does pass, because it is nothing, again, no souls to absorb that energy along those lines, that undead. So literally they starved to death down here anyway, even though they had succumbed to the nastiness of becoming an undead themselves.
Able to tell that it was the natural order of things and not some other darker ritual that had been cast upon them.
I feel like we're walking around in circles. Maybe we go back to that room that had a map in it.
That sounds great. We could also try the place that you found Damon with the wind. We could see if we could, escape.
Leave sounds great.
Well, how many
Damon, make a perception check. 11. It dawns on you when Anna says that where you are standing in the hallway that you're in, by that door, you can see where the hallway would continue again and make another 90, that it looks like that might have gone back and connected to that display room. So it looks like this whole wing was built off to the side of those two rooms that you've been in, the map room and the display room. And again, judging where it would have been through the granite wall and the earth and things like that, on the other side must have been that hallway where you first came in from that test chamber. So somewhere on the other side of that is probably where that test chamber is, just kind of given where you are within here. Because it seems the distance that you've traveled and stuff is very similar to what that long hallway would have been at this point.
So if, like you said, like the hallways, like if we continue, we're just going to end up back in the
Yeah, it's
test
basically
chamber.
forming a big C was what it
Okay.
looks like, that would have connected back to that display room.
Okay.
There do appear to be more doors down past this, but if you want to continue that way, or you can go back to the map room, or you can go back to the dorm area, whatever you decide to do.
Let's go back to the map room. I'm assuming this is just the living quarters area.
All right.
Yep.
So back out into the map room, again, you have the double set of doors to your east, double set of doors to your west. The southern hallway that connects there leads back to the showroom, and then there's that southwest one where you guys are walking out of now back into this map room. So where are you going from here? What are we doing?
I know it exactly didn't work out the best last time, but we could just quickly open both sets of doors, look down the hallway, see if they form similar loops or seam, and then be able to make an informed decision. This way.
All
Go to the
right.
middle.
So gonna split the party and look through the doors.
Same room, but yeah.
All right. Okay, we're just gonna do this again. All right. So Damon, you're gonna be my door opener again. All right. He's got that. Mary, you're gonna tackle this door.
Yeah.
All right. Go ahead and you're gonna do perception on it, or you just open it and just what happens happens.
I'm just gonna say a little prayer.
I'll do perception.
All right. You
on
roll
door.
perception.
16.
16. No, you don't see anything. And Mary, are you taking the east and you're doing the west?
Yeah.
Okay. So Damon, you open your door, and again begins to illuminate, then stops, because you see a landslide. And again, where you're guessing where you would have been, this looks to be that hallway that would have connected to the original hallway that you all encountered as you came out of that test room. This must be that landslide that Vaughn saw on the other side of this, where you first came in. Mary, you open it up, and your hallway connects to another long hallway that's very featureless. Begins to light up again as it goes all the way down this way. There's a placard on the wall that is in ancient Elven, and when you read it, that this area is a private area, and that nobody is allowed to actually go into this area, and those are orders of Tour Thondilon.
Ooh,
And that
private
is
area, we should
the,
go this way.
That the name itself translates to Master Root of the Tree, which again would have been a title that would have been given to somebody of extreme importance.
Can you say that again? Master root of the what?
The Master Root of the Tree.
Well, saying we're not supposed to go down there is a good enough reason for me to go there.
Yeah, let's
Right?
break some rules, right?
So it'll be interesting.
That mean anything to you, Echo?
Not at the moment.
On account of you like trees.
Yeah, I know. No, but I mean, whoever this is, probably powerful and important.
All right, here's to we can find some answers this direction.
All right. What is our marching order, and what are you all doing as we're proceeding down the hallway here?
I can go first. Let me and Sky take the lead. We'll sniff or listen or look for anything we can find.
Wonderful. I'll hang in the back just to make sure, nothing. I'm still
Pops
a little.
up behind.
I'll go
Yep.
behind you.
Yeah, I'm firmly in the middle.
All right. Since you are the lead, go ahead and give me perception as you all move down the hallway here.
Okay.
And since Sky is assisting, you will do that with advantage.
Yes. Yeah. So that'll be a 23.
23. All right. As you move down this long hallway, there is absolutely, it's featureless. I mean, literally, it is just that strange spade-shaped design once again. Lights on the floor that really illuminate the edges there. Some other ones that come kind of up along the sides, just very light and sparse. And you come down to another T intersection. As you get to the T intersection, look to the right. Again, another long hallway that continues down, and about halfway down this hallway is a break in the wall. It looks to be a door or something. To your left would be a large open chamber that's, you can feel the moisture coming in from in there. There's dripping noises going on. Nothing illuminates inside of that area.
I wouldn't go left. Sounds like there's, if not already actual water there, that it's at least potentially going to cave in. So there seems to be a door or something. Go quietly though, and I will sneak and
Proceeding down.
proceed to the right.
Anybody coming with him, or are you allowing him to move ahead?
Go with you if you allow it.
Damon, are you going?
Yeah, I'll go.
All right. You gonna do?
Listen, my son.
You do it stealth style, or you just heading on down? All right. Since you're all there, let's go ahead and roll with advantage on that, because again, Team Ninja.
Yes. So that will be a 21.
21. As you get to the door, Sky's back kind of begins to bristle up a little bit.
What is it?
And she looks back at you and a little low kind of whine, and just stares at the door very intently.
Okay. I'll just like put an arm up to anybody who can see me, and I'll motion to one of you, check for traps. I think there's something in there.
Whispers over to Damon. I think you said you're up there as well. Damon, I'll look for wards or glyphs if you glance for anything else.
16.
16.
24.
24. All right, between the two of you, as you're examining the door, you can't help but be distracted by the impressive, ornate quality of what you're looking at as you're going through. All around the door, at least 3 feet or so around the door, it has also been carved into the ground, even more dramatic than the Dol Desicors area, of this amazingly beautiful tree. You can see the wood twists and stuff up and around, and is blended right into the doorway itself. There is this incredible detail in the leaves and the bark. I mean, like, it almost looks like you could go and pluck a leaf off this tree that is so impressively etched into it. But what's even more impressive is that the leaves themselves have had emeralds sheared to make flakes that have been pressed into the granite to make the leaves green. And you can look and see that other gems are also encrusted in points into this as well. Very hard to actually reap any value out of these if you were to try to flake them off because they have been sheared so thin. But the amount of dollars that were invested in the intricate artwork obviously indicates there's something super important about the individual that had this door. And again, over the top of it reads the master's name, the Tour Thon de Saron, up on there, so you can see that on there. And the door is sealed. You didn't find any magical wards. There didn't appear to be any traps on there as well.
Do I recognize the tree?
Go ahead and make a perception on that.
23.
You don't recognize the specific tree,
Okay.
but you have seen a tree like this before. This is definitely a life tree.
Come in, Vaughn. This is good buddy, the Reverend Goodberry's. What's going on? Should we move up with you, or what do you say?
Yes, it seems to be, well, at least not trapped. Safe enough from what we've been able to see.
Good enough for me. All right, let's join up with them.
All right.
Okay. Sky doesn't like something about it. I don't know what that is yet, but we have to be careful. I think we're just not seeing something right now.
Should I be ready to just...
Now, I didn't hear that
Maybe.
at all. I did not hear that, so we just come.
Clang, 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 clang. Hey, we're stealthy. All right, now the party is reassembled.
What y'all look so spooked about?
It's Sky.
Yeah. She's getting freaked out by something. This tree, it's important, as you can tell by how expensive it is, but there's no way in. Can you do your thing?
Well, I'll take a few moments to try to discern if it's magical.
Go ahead.
With a magic sense. If I
It
could,
is magical. The whole thing illuminates. And in the dead center is another one of those, looks like where you would put a hand.
That would be a yes.
Ah.
All right. Shall we?
Let's do it.
Put my hand on it.
Constitution save.
Good, good, good. Hey, want to know what my con is? Oh, God. It's a 2 for a 2 total.
All right.
Oh, okay, okay.
It looks like the Reverend got kicked by a mule. Literally, he shoots backwards from the door and slams into the wall. Fortunately for the Reverend, because the wall has that nice kind of round contour, he doesn't break his back as he slams against it. You do take 4 points of hit point damage. It's contusions. And the wind is knocked out of the Reverend. He literally goes, and slides down on his behind like, oh!
That was
And
not
this
a
little
good
puff of
idea.
smoke comes off of his fingers. It looks like, it almost feels like electricity.
I made
Now
a note
that
today.
he's
I didn't see anything. Did you see anything?
I can't help but to have kind of like a tiny smirk. I did not see anything.
Performance.
That's a 2.
He was like, I didn't anything.
Now that the Reverend has gotten down to head level with me, I want to walk over and go, did it hurt?
When I fell from heaven?
What's that?
Don't worry about it.
I
Yeah,
wasn't.
it hurt real bad.
And I'm going to try to give you a hand to brace yourself up.
Oh, thank you, Skeech. That's real kind of you.
Well, I'm not going to that door. I think you should try again.
Yeah, I think maybe you can try with the other hand. Maybe it just didn't, yeah.
I'll give it a shot. at least know what one of these trees are, maybe I'll get lucky.
I like that idea much better.
So I think we should do some kind of safety net. Does anybody have the rope? Maybe we can make like a net behind it so we don't all hit the wall like the river did.
Like a boxing ring?
Yes, exactly.
Just imagine
not
Anna
that I know what that is,
with a
but
catcher's
if I
mitt
did,
back
I'll
there.
pull out the pouch of endless rope.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
I'll stand on one side and like take some of the rope. Yeah. Uh-huh.
This could just, split me in half, but we'll give it a go.
It could also garrot you as well. I mean, there's all kinds of possibilities.
Oh no!
I'll just kind
Just lower it
of,
a little bit.
ruffle
Make it like a, yeah.
Sky's head for a second and then go, like Indiana Jones style, just bracing myself, and then I'm going to put my hand on it.
All right.
And I'm going to say in Ancient Elvish, give me passage.
All right.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Echo reaches out and puts his hand on the door, and you hear him say something in Ancient Elven, and the rest of you recognize what he says, but it's not the normal Ancient Elven that you're used to hearing people enunciate. It rolls off very differently off of his tongue, and as he does it, you see at the base of the tree, color begins to fill in along the bark as it begins to trace up the tree itself. And as it comes out to the branches, all those flakes of emeralds and those little gems on it begin to glow whatever color they happen to be, the reds and the yellows and the greens. And the door itself opens up for the first time in who knows how long. You could hear the seal break on the room, and the rush of air from the hallway kind of comes into it, and the door itself is opened.
Wow.
Okay. Let's check it out.
What'd you say?
To give me passage.
Oh, you just had to ask.
I guess I should have asked nicely. I'm still kind of dusting myself off.
And using my abilities, I'd like to kind of scope out the room, looking for immediate signs of danger. And if that's not there, then more signs of elven magic.
All right. Immediately you recognize signs of elven magic because in the room itself are these sconces on the wall that leap to life and bathe the room in this really delicate white light. Again, almost feels like sunlight in this room. And it is absolutely peaceful and beautiful as you look at the light itself. Again, making you feel like you wish you were back up on the surface. And again, bathes the entire room from all these sconces that are around. And the room itself is ornate. It is very expensive looking. You can look again to the floor matches that same polished look, but there are rugs in this room itself. There are bookshelves in this particular room. And again, as you're looking through that while the Doldesticor's room looked like it was nice, this is hundreds of times better than that. There are several polished marble pillars in the room. Again, display cases built into the wall. Tapestries of the finest cloth are draping down from the wall themselves. You can see the furniture is very comfortable and inviting looking, and there is a massive fireplace in the corner that occupies the entire corner itself. It does have some of that washout that has come into the room, but for whatever reason it did not go anywhere past the actual opening of the fireplace. It looks like it is filled just straight up, almost this unnatural wall inside the fireplace. And this is what you see in here. Now, unfortunately, it does look like time has had some impact on the wood and the fabric within the room itself. Again, while the beauty is still relatively intact on the items, they do not look like they would handle the same stress as when they were back in their prime on that. And that's what you see there in front of the room.
Do the books look intact?
Books look intact, yes. And again, the display case has some items in it. There is one particular display case that sits in the middle of the room, and you see two crossed daggers sitting inside the display case. And they are gorgeous. As a matter of fact, they look very, very similar in their design to the item that Echo carries, his Kopesh.
I will check the dagger box for traps.
All right.
I'm looking at that bookshelf.
What do I roll for this investigation?
Absolutely.
Okay, that'll be a 10.
As you begin searching around, looking to see if there's any mechanisms, stuff like that, since you're investigating rather than using just straight up perception, I mean, you're really looking for mechanisms on this thing. And you do not find any mechanisms on the display case for this. What you do find is silver etchings along the glass edges where it's attached together. It's written in ancient Elven, and again, looking at these are all things that have to do with longevity and protection from elements and things along those lines, etched on the edge of the case. There's also a placard that sits on the case that is written in ancient Elven as well.
What does it say?
Translating it, it says, "These are the blades that have extracted justice for the loss of your daughter. May the sight of them bring you comfort."
Can I try and remove the case?
The case is very much attached to the table itself that it sits on. Looks like it's all built as one item. Looking inside that again, you see the two cross daggers they are sitting on. It looks to be a very beautiful purple plush pillow inside there. Each one of them also has, sitting underneath them, a sheath as well that appears to be just as ornate and as beautiful as the daggers.
Well, whoever these belong to, it looks like it meant a lot to them. I don't know how to get them out, though.
Is it a glass case?
Yes, there's a little handle on it.
Can you do me a favor?
Oh, yes.
Don't let this go to your head. Is there any magic on this case at all?
Need about
Yes.
10 minutes as I'm going over it, tracing out
The whole case radiates magic. But again, when you're looking at what these schools kind of line up, again, protection and longevity and anti-decay and things like that appear. Now your sense magic, and that isn't just the object, there's other thing, it's a radius, is it
and
not?
it's 30 feet.
This room lights up in various points. There's another display case that also seems to have the same style magic. Items within it are lit up. There is a book sitting on the table here with a pen, and the pen and quill both light up as well. So the inkwell and the quill both light up as well. There's all kinds of very interesting things. As a matter of fact, there is a book that has its own display case that lights up. It is a thick book, about yay tall, probably about this long and wide.
Well, as I'm tracing these etchings, I start to look around the room and realize all the things lighting up. Whew.
In your entire lifetime, you have never seen this much magic in one location.
This is, I'm a little overwhelmed by it.
The books,
Magic.
I know.
Magic. Magic permeates this room. It's all about protection. I suspect it's why these items have persevered.
Preservation magic or defense magic? Will we get hurt if we try and...
That I don't know.
Will the books be damaged if we break the insignias, the sigils?
Unfortunately, I just know that they're magic. Only one way to find out.
Let's try it, guys. Let's
It's an abjuration
During
of some kind.
during all this, I'm just gonna be standing in the doorway and making sure that nothing is like sneaking up on us.
While we're all going goo goo gaga.
From like the terrible smelling room that was really wet and didn't light up. So I'm just gonna be like hanging out and making sure. Yeah.
All right. You hang out by the creepy opening.
Yep.
And enjoy the creepy vibes going down.
Oh yeah.
As you're sitting there, Anna, what you do, you don't hear anything coming from the direction of the creepy room that you had been talking about, but the other end of the hallway, you hear the sound. It takes a moment or two for you to put it together, but it sounds like a brook, maybe water flowing over rocks.
Okay.
Well, I make a beeline over towards, good luck with the daggers, I make a beeline towards that book that's in the case. I suspect I might be met there with Vaughn.
From all angles.
All right, looking at the display case, again, it has those same inscriptions on it, but the book itself actually has some elven writing on it.
What does it say?
It says the Arcanist Cookbook.
Arcanist Cookbook. Whew, my. Well, against my better judgment, which you all know that I don't have, I'm going to try to open it.
As you put your hand on the display case and open it up, it opens up without even making much of a noise. These hinges are amazing. Again, it must have been forever that it's in here, not even a single squeak.
Vulture favors the bold, my friends.
So it seems.
Back in the book.
And as you reach down and place your hands on the book, both hands make contact with it, nothing happens. And you lift it up, and just as you're kind of holding it, you feel compelled to open the book.
I gotta open this.
Yes, please.
And as you open up the book, and there's a little bit of a inscription on there. It looks to be from one person writing to another. An old friend, I put this together for you. I thought you might enjoy it. I know you can fill it with all of your wonderful information. Please feel free to share it with me one day should you so decide. And it's somebody's name on there. And as you even look at the first page, it's all again written in ancient Elven, but it is notes on some arcane spell of some nature that somebody was working on, things that have been working and failed. And then as you kind of flip through the book itself, it stops you at a certain point. The book itself won't let you turn pages any longer.
Reverend, there's more to the book.
Very interested in this page, but I'm not sure why.
What does it say?
Reverend, go ahead and give me a wisdom.
A wisdom save?
Yes.
Okay. Ooh. 19.
19. You would like to hang on to this book is what it feels like. Just something inside of you says, I would like to hang on to this. It doesn't compel you. You're not like, you can't, if you wanted to, you could literally just drop it on the floor.
Yeah.
But something inside of you is like, I really want to hang on to this book.
I think this one's going in to the collection. I'm gonna, I'll let you read it later, but I'm gonna.
A collection. Are you a purveyor of bound tomes?
Well, just the one right now. Collection's gotta start somewhere. I mean my collection of stuff. I got lots.
So he kind of like shakes it. There's plenty of time to read that later. I imagine there's more pressing things here. Immediately starts looking for other books in this room.
All right. As you begin checking through, again, all these are still up on the shelf, and unfortunately, as you begin to kind of touch these books, you can see where they're falling apart because of age and decay. They literally just dry rotted out. But what you do see is on the desk there next to that quill,
Yes.
and the ink looks to be some letters or something, some notes somebody was writing, all in this beautiful Elven script on the desk there.
Reach forward and stop myself and worry that it's going to crumble again. The most
Don't look at me.
delicate, the most delicate of grabs.
Make a dex check, please.
You want sleight of hand? You want acrobatics? What do you want?
I'm going to let you make the choice in this. This is your fate that you're putting your hands in.
It's not as good, but I think sleight of hand is going to be more appropriate here. It's a 9.
It's a 9.
Oh,
As you grab one of the pages, it begins to just disintegrate. But the ink hovers in the air as the page pulls and falls away for just a few moments, and you've got time to make a intelligence check to read it real fast before it goes away.
Come on.
5, 4, 3,
16.
2. All right. As you hurry to read it real quick, unfortunately as that paper is disintegrating and the ink is beginning to fade away, you get, and it said it could not be done, but I have succeeded. After many failed attempts, I have recreated what they thought could never be done. But to what end, I wonder? Will they truly let us bind the prisoner to our will?
Fades before me.
Yeah. Now, there are some other pages that are on here that you have not disturbed just yet. But again, you have one that's sitting on top of another at this point.
While it is still fresh, before I even touch the next things, I start to
Jot that
scribble
down?
this down, yeah.
All right. Are you going to tackle any of the other pages?
I first look around to see if Damon saw that.
Can I roll perception to see
Absolutely,
if I saw
you
that?
may.
You're lucky. 3.
3. Damon is salivating over the daggers in front of him. So right now, you're focused on that. Are you going to check out any of those other ones?
Yes, please.
All right. So you're not going to move the first one? You're just going to read it and then pull the page away, or how are you doing that?
Yes.
Because again, they're one on top of the other. Okay.
As much as I can, then, I'm not touching the next page. I'm just scooting the top one off of it ever so delicately.
Again, because time and the elements have unfortunately destroyed part of the paper, what you're looking on there in the second one, it says, "The keystone has been reforged to the best of my skills. But the true understanding of such a powerful magic artifact is that of only dragons. Even with all of our advancements, all of our glories that we've achieved, we pale in comparison to the mastery that was necessary to create the seal in which it was placed first. I must continue testing to ensure," and then whatever happened to the rest of the paper, unfortunately, has gone away at that point.
Is there any more?
There's the paper beneath that.
I'm not going to stop until I have all of the information.
So you're going to slide that page off?
Yes.
All right, go ahead and do your sleight of hand. See if you damage both of them, or you can get
17.
17, all right. You pull the first page away, and again, it begins to crumble and disintegrate, unfortunately. But the page underneath it is not disturbed. So there's really no way around that because of just the age of it. And again, because it's been sitting out so long, this one, you can't get everything off of the page as well. And again, the handwriting is very large and flourishing, so it does take up a lot of space on the parchment that it's on. And it says, "How does she plan to open it? The souls that she needs to harvest are long gone. I wonder if it's through magics. Could one recreate them? Been an existing soul in the likeness of another? Only then could the keystone be infused with," and then it's damaged beyond recognition on that.
With the daggers,
Yes.
I would like to approach it, and I will unsheath my khopesh, and I will say in Ancient Elven, I'll place my hand and my sword on it, and I'll say, "You sought your vengeance. Help me seek mine."
All right.
And, you know, I'm 1 for 1 right now, so I'm hoping I can just kind of open sesame my way through everything.
So, as you place the khopesh on the thing and on the box and recite that, no magical blast, nothing strange begins to happen along those lines until you begin to pull your khopesh away, and then both the daggers glow faintly, and so does the khopesh. And then it just kind of dissipates away. And from there, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be right back. So come back and see us. Stop, switch out. All right, and welcome back. So we last left off, they were salivating over the daggers hidden inside the little cabinet there. So what are we doing?
Seeing that didn't work, I'm going to look at Echo, his sword, back at Echo, and I'm just going to take one of my daggers and use the butt of it and just break the glass.
And it bounces off. Again, there's a little handle right on there that I talked about right in the beginning. So there's a little handle, much like Joe.
Is there?
Yes.
Oh, I
Much
didn't
like
know
the-
that.
So, but you are impressed. Like, I mean, like literally the glass should have shattered, but when you hit it, the dagger just kind of skips right off of it. And Echo lifts up the thing like, "Oh, okay."
All right.
Let's not tell anyone that we didn't.
I got you.
So while Vaughn is disintegrating papers.
This is occurring simultaneously, so neither one of them sees
No one saw
what's
that.
happening.
Can I attempt to remove the daggers from
You can
the-
certainly attempt.
And I'll do it?
All right. Without taking off a finger or anything else like that, Echo reaches in and pulls both the daggers out. The weight on these things these are par excellence here. You can feel how amazing the craftsmanship is. Just as you lift these things up, it doesn't take a whole lot to roll both of them on your fingers, and you're not terribly skilled with daggers. It's perfectly balanced at the hilt. Looks like these could be thrown very well or used to plunge into somebody that wouldn't appreciate them. But either way, they are razor sharp looking and gorgeous.
Echo kind of
Staring at these daggers. Just
flips them between his fingers a few times, and you see this like almost like comforted smile, like these are familiar old friends. And then he holds them both handle up and turns to you. Where I come from, receiving a weapon like this is a sign that, you know, you are on your journey to becoming a warrior of the All-Mother. And while I don't know for sure if we see the world in the same way, I know that you have my back and I have yours, even if we don't need to tell each other who we are. And he just kind of flips them and holds them out to you.
I'm gonna take them.
From your experience and your training, you've never held anything like these before. It is, when you touch them and you feel them, the balance is so superb. Again, you've never held something like these as far as the manufacturer goes. The metal feels unfamiliar, but it is nice. It fits and tucks right into your hand really well. It is love, especially for somebody that does what your background is about. You also see, again, there are 2 sheaths in there as well, and they look like they go with each of the daggers.
When you strike down your foes with these, remember who you are protecting.
Us, right?
Echo won't answer.
Sure.
Do you take the sheaths?
Yeah. I'm
Alright.
gonna clip them where the
As
rest
you
of mine are.
slide the daggers into the sheaths, since we're replacing the ones that you had, it's a very strange sensation. Then you realize as you're pushing them in, you stop for a second and then start to pull them back out again, and then you slide them back in. As they slide in, they're being resharpened by the interior of the sheath. The weight on these is a fraction of what your daggers weigh. Probably about a third of the weight.
My God.
It literally is like holding air practically, but it definitely looks like it cuts a lot more than air does. Around the rest of the room again, the things that the Reverend saw when he had talked about that was that quill, the quill and the thing of ink next to it. There is a display case that has all kinds of bottles and such like that in this room. Looks to be the same type of display cases that you see there, with where the dagger was sitting and the book. And what are you all doing?
I'd like to look in one of the side rooms.
Looking at the side room? You're going to go to the left or to the right?
Left.
All right. Looking into the left is a grand bedroom. It is a 4-poster canopy bed that's in there. Looks to have been silk that is draped down on it. It is, unfortunately, age and time has definitely done the damage to it. But it is a gorgeous bed in the center of this room. It all sits up on 3 steps that lead up to the bed. There's a fireplace in the corner. There's obviously a little sitting table. Looks like a book with some reading glasses are sitting on top of it in the corner. Unfortunately, you can see the book has also, again, succumbed to the time and
Not
energy.
protected by the magic.
Nope. But again, also the strange thing about that fireplace is, again, the fireplace itself is full of the debris, but none of it is spilled out into the room.
I would like to do some kind of perception check just to kind of like identify the important or useful things in the room.
All right. Go ahead and make a roll.
Dirty 20.
As you're looking around the room itself, this is literally just straight up brute force searching at this point. You're just going through things. Pull open a drawer on the desk, and the desk itself kind of droops a little bit at this point as the wood kind of gives out a bit. But in there, 3 rings slide under the edge. They are gorgeous gold rings. Each one of them has a different gem on each one. There's a pearl, there is a ruby, and there's a sapphire. They look to be very beautiful in their design. Obviously, a goldsmith of some talent made each of these. The other thing that stands out in the room as you search about are these slippers. And they, as you look at them, like, oh, well, the bottom of these things, you could definitely wear these outside. They're nice little shoe type of slipper items. Definitely of some fancy elven design. There's a little curl at the tip of the toe on that. But unlike all the other fabric items and things like that in the room, these do not appear to have decayed whatsoever.
Okay. I will grab the rings and the slippers. If I try and put them on, does anything happen?
You'd have to take off your boots. And
I'm going to take off
them
the
off?
boots and try on these
And you-
slippers.
You slide on the slippers, and they are the most comfortable slippers that you've ever tried on in your entire life.
Ooh, Wow.
It literally feels like you're walking on
On
luxury.
a cloud.
Exactly. You're like, oh, Dr. Scholl's before there was Dr. Scholl.
I'm just gonna like waddle around the room in them.
Amazing.
All right, so while Mary is having a little fashion show with her slippers in there, what's everybody else doing at this point?
Are these bottles of potion bottles filled with things? Or are they
There's,
empty?
yeah, as a matter of fact, there's liquid inside of these potion bottles. As you're looking at them, you can see that in one of them, the liquid that fills the interior of the potion bottle rages like a flash of red and orange, almost like a fire inside of it. Another one of the potion bottles has a golden liquid with blue specks that are swimming around about it. Even if the bottle hasn't been disturbed, it almost looks like these little gold flecks, these little blue speckles are swimming about inside. And then you have another one that is a brilliant vermilion color, and it surges around the bottle in this very rhythmic regularity, almost like a heartbeat, the fluid inside. And then finally there is a bottle that has a sea green fluid in it that literally you can see it rushes to one side of the bottle and then rushes back to the other side of the bottle, almost like this wave coming back and forth in the bottle itself.
Okay. Well, I pocket these as fast as I possibly can into the holders that my coat contains that used to contain my
They
potions.
fit really nice. And as you're looking at the glass itself, Reverend, give me, oh my goodness, for you, give me wisdom on that.
11.
11? You've seen this before as far as the glass goes, but you never ever thought you would put your hands on something like this. This is dragon glass that the bottles are made out, the vials are made out of. And you're looking at the stoppers and the top that's on it. It is palladium that where the stopper piece fits into, the little piece that goes back and forth, the metal, it's palladium. So it does not corrode, it does not rust, nothing happens to it. And the stopper itself is made out of some bone material on each of these that holds them all in.
I'm as happy as you have ever seen me since you met me.
Also sitting inside the item where you took it out, you can see there are 3 tokens. Each one of them looks to be made out of some metal material with a feather, raised feather on them, is what it looks like. It's not really a real feather. They out of the same metal as where that feather sits inside of there. And you also see that there is a spyglass in there.
Tokens have feathers on them?
Mm-hmm. It looks like an ordinary coin with the image of a feather etched in on both sides. And do you pick them up or anything, or?
Yes.
All right. Again, there are 5 of these. As you pick them up, they weigh nothing. Like literally, you have them in your hand. You have to actually look at it to realize that you have them in your hand.
I put them into a pouch.
You can hear them clink around inside the pouch.
And I put that on the other side of my coat. So I'm just like shoplifting in this as fast as I can.
You had mentioned this inkwell with the quill. Was that near the letters themselves?
Yes, it's sitting on the same desk that you're looking through.
Just see if the ink has dried up or not.
As you look inside of it, there is absolutely no ink inside of it, but it looks like the quill locks into place with the ink in the inkwell.
Kind of take that ounce. If there's like a twist or anything that kind of comes out, any special mechanism.
As you pick it up, it looks like, again, it just kind of clicks into it. It also appears to be made out of the same glass as the vials that the Reverend was holding. Again, has some brilliant silvery looking metal on it, around the exterior of it. And the quill, the feather on the tip of it, where the actual tip would be going up the shaft of the feather, is that same silvery metal as well. But the feather itself is a white plumage. But at the top of it, it has almost like a peacock eye on it.
I take a look and have my book in one hand, and I look at my sharpened piece of charcoal in the other. I put that away, and I will take that.
Okay.
The whole apparatus.
Are you going to do anything with it?
Just want to keep it.
All right, you've got it.
Having ascertained that the brook is probably no threat, I'm going to come back into the room and just be like, oh, wow, I guess, yeah, really cleaning up in here.
I grab that spyglass and I go, I'll take it to Skeech. Skeech, I'm not real good at this, but I feel like I owe you an apology. You seemed real cross with me earlier today. So,
You or me?
I got you a present.
Yeah, just whatever Skeech was fiddling, he's just gonna drop it.
It looks like it looks like some high quality junk.
It is an absolutely gorgeous spyglass.
Aww.
Well, look at the big end and just.
Pull it out. The magnification on it is intense. It's almost too much Reverend on one shot to look at the glory of the Reverend there. The spyglass itself appears to be mostly brass, but all along the brass are very intricate leafing in gold that has been highlighted on it. And when it collapses down to only about yay big, but it extends all the way out to about here. So it's a really good size magnification on that. But again, inside of this room doesn't really do the justice. It's hard to tell how far the magnification actually goes in that.
Thanks. I have something for you then, I guess.
Oh.
I'm gonna reach behind my ear. I'm gonna pull out the everlasting and a gob stopper that I received from Gildan.
Oh,
Try it, please. It's really good.
did you have it in your mouth?
Yeah, but like yesterday.
The moment of truth.
It's impolite to deny, like, oh, you did it.
What's it taste like?
Well, to you it tastes like strawberry, and then it kind of fades over to banana and a little bit of blueberry, and it's pleasant and sweet.
Notes of goblin saliva.
It's a high end.
I know what that tastes like.
Tastes like strawberries.
Is it all over? Well, thanks, Skeech, and I put that into a small bottle.
Have we found everything of value here? Should probably get moving.
There's the other door.
We didn't search that already? Okay. Let's do it real quick then.
All right. Looking inside the other room there, you can see that it is a study, and it looks like a fire has raged inside of this room. You can see that it originated near where the desk was and consumed most everything that was in here. If you guys gonna do a perception, anything like that, check it out, or
Yes. I'd like to investigate.
investigate? There you go.
It'll be 19 for perception.
19. The fire again looks like it originated on the desk and then spread throughout, but what you can actually look and see on the floor are almost footprints that were on fire.
Can I track them?
Oh, no.
Or like follow them?
They come out of this room, and unfortunately at that point is where you lose them because there's really nothing for them to imprint on out in that hallway.
Were they human size?
They were humanoid sized,
Okay.
roughly about the size of a regular human male.
Did they have pointy ends?
Not that you could tell,
Okay.
because, well, they were probably on fire. That does kind of,
Doesn't
Rounds
excuse
things
bad
out.
fashion.
yes.
A moment, please.
But I will point them out to the group. Nice.
All right, and what are we doing now?
Where did Mary?
I don't know, I haven't heard her in a while.
She's in the.
Squish, 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 squish. Where's everybody?
Mary comes out of the side room there with beautiful slippers holding her stinky boots in the other hand.
Do you see these slippers? They're amazing.
What color are the slippers again?
The slippers are this absolutely gorgeous shade of sea green.
I don't like them.
Like we made out quite well from this this head of the tree man or whatever he was called.
It's a life tree.
The life, yes, that's what I meant. Well, it looks like we're at the end here. Should we go back to that room with the map and try to take the route we didn't take yet?
We should probably peek our head into
The book.
the one you heard.
Oh, yes.
Oh, yeah. It seems pretty innocuous, but yeah, let's check it out. Yeah.
Might be able to get some fresh water.
So you're going to proceed down the hallway towards where you heard that sound? Who is in the lead?
I got it.
Echo and Sky?
I'll bring up the rear.
All right. As you all are moving down, there is one more door that you encounter here on the wall. It has that same outline as before with the handprint.
We'll send it. Hand on the thing.
And another thing. All right. It opens up. And inside of this room is, you're not really sure what you're looking at. There is some sort of mechanical contraption in this room. There are all these small square packages of bones. Like, you can see a rib cage in there, you can see chunks of armor inside of it, the skull, hands, a blade, and there are just dozens and dozens of these things stacked up in this room. Next to this, again, strange machine that looks like they would fit into the machine itself on like a conveyor belt looking, but where they go from there is really hard to, it just looks like they feed right up against a wall.
Well, if there were good feelings before, they're gone now.
Any idea what this thing does?
Makes bone blocks.
I don't. Maybe.
Is it some, was it making the materials here to make those creatures? Or?
It's the cast off from the pieces they didn't deem appropriate for their constructs.
Yeah.
Oh, is this the trash room?
This could
Junk
room.
Get it right.
This is trash. Not gonna use bits of people. That's wrong.
Everything we found here has been wrong.
From the orientation of like the conveyor belt, can we tell like which direction it's pointing? Like if it's connected to one of the other rooms, like
Go ahead and make a roll.
Great, awesome, yeah.
This will be an intelligence-based roll.
Great. Yeah, yep. Solid. Okay. And then that's just a straight intelligence check. Okay, that's a 16.
16. It looks like the way the conveyor belt and stuff feeds,
Yeah.
they come out of the stacks that you see onto the conveyor belt, which takes them towards the device. And then the device looks like it's built up right next to the wall, but it does not look like it goes through the wall. It's just
Okay.
kind of next to it, like they would feed in. But where they go after that is, who knows?
Weird.
Would we be able to fit on the conveyor belt if we were to say get on it ourselves?
You would have to knock some of the blocks off to get on there and lay down and put yourself inside the machine.
Great, I'll help. I'll move some
All
of
right,
the
well, it's
blocks
not that deep.
off.
It pretty
Yeah.
much the block feeds into the machine and then doesn't really go anywhere else.
No. So there.
You're just like, it looks like the block plugs in, but where does it go after that?
Yes.
You can take the lid helmet.
Oh. Is there an exit? No. It's a dead end, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I'll hop off and just kind of. I don't really know what this does,
If we
but
put a block in there, what happens?
Yeah.
Feed a block into it,
Uh-huh.
it occupies the space.
Nice.
yeah, I think it's dead, whatever it is.
A lot of that going around.
Take a look around the space, see if we find any more activating sections, things similar for opening doors. Or
The only thing that seems to be here is the opening at the far end where you can hear that sound of water again, almost getting like a brook.
I kind of want to check out the brook.
You guys moving down towards that? All right. As you all proceed down the hallway to that opening there, you come out to an elevated platform. It steps out around the platform. You look down, you can see a set of stairs that lead out from the side and down to the bottom. And as you're looking at the bottom itself, it is a large area with 2 raised platforms, and it is filled with water down at the bottom. As you look up, you can see 3 openings in the walls that have the stairs coming up out of that bottom to the openings. Looking at one of them, there appears to be like shelving and bottles and things along those lines. Maybe it was like a reagent room or something. There is another room that is literally just completely collapsed. And you can see like there's rock debris and there's all kinds of moss and mold that has kind of grown on it there. And the other one are two stone pillars with crystal pieces built into them. And in between them is this small glowing orb of electricity, very, very small, kind of sparks every now and then and licks off the crystals. At the base, sitting on top of one of the platforms, is a body in a almost burial style display. Legs kind of crossed over, the chest, hands are on it like this. But sitting clutched in the hands is this small, maybe about yay large, obsidian looking piece. It's multifaceted, almost like almost like a 20-sided die, but not exactly. It's kind of what it reminds you, the easiest way to describe the shape. And then every so often there's a glint of green that flashes across it. And that's all you see there in the room. The sound of the running water from the room that was destroyed, the one where the moss and stuff is water coming out of a gash in the wall, flowing down the steps into the base of the room where the water is itself, at the bottom there.
Is the water running like a stream?
Down the stairs it is, into that pool, and again, the pool itself is, doesn't look like this room was designed to actually be a pool. As you can look there, you can see debris and stuff kind of below the water, but what it is, it's hard to make out. But again, that body is sitting, laying atop one of the platforms.
Can I get a better look at it using the spyglass?
Oh, smart.
Unfortunately, it would be very difficult for you to utilize the spyglass in here.
Sure.
The distance is just not far enough for the spyglass to be. I mean, when you look at it, it'd be like, I don't even know what I'm looking at. It's that close.
Shrink it.
It's like it's time to get our feet wet.
Or like your
I
waist.
kind of want to go look at this body and this weird obsidian thing.
You're gonna go down into the water.
You said that
Yeah.
the jewel, the sphere between those two, was crackling with electrical energy.
Yeah. Again, if you went up the stairs to the platform where the two stone pieces are, there's a crystal on each one, and betwixt them, in the wide open air, is where that spark of energy is.
Hold on a moment, everyone. I want to take a look and just make sure that there's no completed circuit somewhere. If it's jumping to something or spreading into the water.
Looking around, you do not see anything where it is spreading into the water. What you do actually see, though, from where the two crystals are wires that go up and attach into the wall and disappear inside the wall.
Should we cut that?
Yeah.
Do I recognize this burial practice at all? Is this something familiar to me?
Not at all.
Okay. Interesting.
And the body's not charred or anything, right?
The body is not charred, no.
Okay.
But when you look at it, the skin is completely gone off of this creature.
Oh, lovely.
There is no skin whatsoever on it. But the strange thing is that the clothing that it wears seems to be completely intact. And this is a very fine robe set that this thing is wearing.
It doesn't match the slippers that Mary's wearing.
Yes.
Oh.
It looks like it could go with that set.
Is it wearing slippers?
What's that?
Is it wearing slippers?
It's not the same color as
Oh.
the slippers,
Okay,
but
okay.
it looks like it could definitely go with that set.
Okay.
And no, it is not wearing any slippers.
No, they ain't using them anymore.
Does it look like dried out and like that darkened wheat color,
While it does look
like beef jerky?
a bit like beef jerky, it still also does not look like it should be decaying in this room with all the moisture. It kind of reminds you of almost the same sort of state that the ghouls that you found were. Yes, they had passed away, but nothing refused to break the bodies down. So everything refused to break the bodies down. The bacteria, insects, everything, nothing wanted to break the bodies down.
You said similar to the ghouls. How similar to the ghouls?
This thing, If you want to roll your undead lore, you might be able to figure out a bit more about it.
A 24.
24. It is definitely not a ghoul. It looks like it was something more powerful, like a white. But at the same time, again, it's missing the skin, and you can actually see where there are etched runes into the flesh on this thing. It is definitely an unholy abomination of some nature. Whether it is still alive, whether it has passed away, you've never seen anything exactly like this.
So I'm a little bit paranoid that something is going to trigger it to come alive through electrical circuits, currents, something. I'm wondering if maybe we should, like, sever that, the, like, cords or something that's going into the wall. Yeah, because I'm thinking maybe it's gonna start something up, activate something.
We will split up and each take a wire.
All right, so you all are coming down into the water because you have to go through the water to get over to those platforms.
It might take me a few shots, but I can.
We could also try using the rope.
How so?
If we can have somebody hold it, we could try swinging.
Let's see.
Hold the rope.
Let's see how good of a shot you are, Vaughn.
Okay, if this is what we think is best, we can try this a few times.
Yep.
If that's all right.
Did you want me to help?
If you'd like to.
Sure. I'll go for the right one then.
I'll aim for the
All right.
left.
Make an attack. It's a high AC because it's very difficult to hit the wire.
20.
That's impressive.
14.
14. Skeet shows you up, Vaughn. Little guy lines up and tweak and hits one of the wires, and it
Max damage.
it snaps. It's just kind of hanging now. The other piece that was attached to the wall that goes down is sparking a little bit. The other one that you fired your shot at goes wide.
Well done, Skeech. It's looking at you still, and it says, Predatus. It comes flying back to my hand.
The glow in the center has not dissipated.
Would you like to try again?
Try the other one?
Sure, we can both shoot it. That was a lucky shot. I don't know if I can do that again. 11.
Oh, fire.
Skips off the wall.
22.
22.
Oh.
Snap the other wire. Again, the same deal. It disconnects. The other one slams against the wall, and it's sparking a little bit as well. And the glow is still there between the two crystals.
Well, at least we tested it.
We tried.
Yep.
I'm gonna take a second to put my boots back on.
That's
I don't want to get
good
these
shooting.
wet.
Oh yeah, it's still on. So we tried.
Well, now we know that doesn't do it.
Who wants to touch the glowy thing?
I can't swim.
Well, just because I had the idea doesn't mean I gotta do it.
I can do it.
But you did such a good job when you touched the door
Yeah, I
earlier.
did a great job. My back still hurts.
So I have to wade through the water to get there?
As you come down to the water, it comes up just above your waist. It's going to make this difficult terrain to move in. It halves your speed.
If Echo's going, I'm not letting Echo go alone.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sky comes down with you and is kind of whining a little bit. And as she moves into the water, what you see is her little snout and her eyes are just kind of like sharking. just above like that. Little tail is definitely tucked down, not too happy. Where are
Echo,
you?
you're doing great.
And so it's you
Thank
and
you.
Echo.
Yeah.
Let's go ahead and place them on the map, please.
I'd like to also join.
You're going to join them? All
Yeah.
right. They have just all come off of the
We should
stair.
have some way to
Which
pull
would have
us
placed
back.
them, yeah,
you
right
know?
about there.
What if we tied the rope like around someone's waist so we can yank us back?
Yeah, all right. Now pull out start feeding out rope
Yeah.
from the pouch.
So how many people are you lashing to the same rope?
Just the two of us, right?
What about Mary? You're lashing
are
Mary
you
too?
going
I
to?
was gonna come
Okay.
This is going
What
to.
if you guys just grab the onto
Yeah,
the
that's what I was
rope?
thinking.
Okay.
So how many feet of rope betwixt them is there going to be?
It's waist high. That is 2 feet above my head.
Well,
Stay 5 feet near me.
I think I have as much as I want. It's unlimited.
Backpack.
It's
Gonna keep
about
me
2
down.
miles
Yep.
worth of rope that's stored inside there.
We could also use
ain't going in
regular
there.
60 feet.
Smart.
That is very minimum. You don't want to waste all.
Too late.
Yeah.
Deploy.
So it's paying out. You guys are lashed together so that this could, I'm just reminding you of that as you go down to the water there. As you get down to the water, the body itself, sitting there with that strange little thing in it, sits up
No.
and then floats
No, no.
up. Now it's about 3 feet off the pedestal on that far side right
I just
there.
turn back to the river.
And it turns over and takes this deep inhale. And you can actually hear the eyelids crack as they open up. And these shrunken, shriveled looking eyes with this red glow on them shift towards the party
Go underwater.
as it's begins smelling around. And it says, "What master do you serve?"
Algar. And then I cover my mouth.
At this point, it pivots over and looks over at Echo. Elgar.
Algar. Yes.
And why has Elgar sent you here?
I don't know yet. To pursue knowledge and to protect those important to him.
Really?
Really?
You're a liar. You think you can hide your truth from me? I can smell it. What is that on your back there? Turn around.
He turns around.
And you see the crusty, narrow eyes widen. And you're either a murderer or a thief as well. No one would have given you that blade. Not that blade.
I draw it. You want to test that theory?
You trifle with me, worm. Very
Worms are
well.
important for the ecosystem.
And as we launch into a debate about the environment, initiative begins. All right, let's go ahead and get this rolling here.
Why do I roll so bad for initiative?
All right, so I'm looking for 21 to 25. Any takers? All right, I am looking 16 to 20.
18 here.
18 over here too.
Oh, nice.
18. So which one of you, what is your dexterity?
My dexterity is -1, so.
Better than that.
All right, so Skeech is going to lead us off tonight, followed by Anna. Okay.
All right.
So we're looking for 11 to 15.
11.
13, 15.
15 for Vaughn.
13.
13 and 11. Okay. So we got the Rev, followed by Damon.
10.
10. All right. Echo is quaking over there, bringing up making a tactical decision to wait.
We're debating the
Yes,
the
Echo
effectiveness
Sky.
of decomposers.
Oh, sorry, I was 11.
You were 11?
Yeah.
Ooh, okay, so you are going to, I apologize, Mary. So we're going to have Mary
It's so true. They were all killed by the
And
glaciers
then
originally,
Echo.
and then brought over.
Sky. So again, Skeech is going to bring us up first player, then the master, then we've got Anna, Vaughn, Reverend, Damon, Mary, and Echo, and any surprises I've got nestled in between all that. All right,
It's
Skeech,
okay.
Thanks, I hate it.
being first up on the lineup there, what are you doing?
It seems my friend is in a heated debate, so
Right way, kind of like you see him, except, yeah. Only Mary, Vaughn, and Echo and Sky are down at the very bottom of the stair. Everybody else is kind of clustered up at the top.
what is the approximate distance between the floating beef jerky stick and me?
So
Snap it to the master.
about 35 feet straight out, but about 45 feet coming down the stairs. So geometry was not what I did very well in.
Straight line is all I
So sorry, teachers back in high school. I
Oh.
apologize. I didn't learn it then. I don't have it now.
So
The hypotenuse
Skeech
of the triangle
will
is
reach into his backpack and I'm going to pull out what looks to be a broken and remodified hand crossbow that just looks like a tiny catapult.
Got a big soup spoon mounted on it there.
Absolutely, yeah. It's bent, beaten into shape, and I would just like to hold my action for that to see if my friend wins the debate, and if the dry man has hostile intent, then I would like to fire.
All right. So.
Esquich goes,
Wow, that is almost sad and pathetic right there. That makes me feel
me.
bad about what's going to happen next. Okay, so we move on to the master there. So the master looks at Echo and moves his hands around, and you see these strange-looking symbols pop into the air around him, and this cold vapor begins to trail out from the symbols and weaves its way towards Echo. Echo, you will need to make a spell save, DC 15, please.
Of what?
Of a spell save, straight up magic.
So I don't add anything to that?
What ability save?
What's that?
intelligence, wisdom,
Yeah, oh,
charisma,
my bad.
dexterity.
Probably help if I called that right off there. That one is a wisdom. My bad
Okay,
on that.
15.
Yeah, sorry, I got caught up in the moment.
you're
on
good.
that. So 15. Wow, nicely done.
I'm not
Okay.
afraid of the cold.
No, so these,
That
as the
never
spell
bothered
strikes
you
you, it kind of
anyway?
deflects off of you. And again, your Kopesh glows a tad bit as that happens.
In like a good way?
You didn't burst into flames, so I'm going to assume that's probably a positive development for you on that.
I think that might have been a hostile activity.
That would be hostile activity, it looks like. So yes, that would trigger your action. So
And-
go ahead and take your action.
Well, I just need a dexterity saving throw from them.
From them, oh, Dex. Let's see here, a little crusty and old, oh my. That would be a 21.
So, the soup spoon will just plink out the bottom and then just fall sadly to the floor
What did you?
as nothing happens.
So the soup spoon actually does fire off the thing, but just as it goes to hit him, he dematerializes and rematerializes on the ledge right there.
Oh,
Well, that's cheating.
I hate that.
And he looks up at Skeech at this point and smiles at you, and again begins to weave his hands around, and as he pulls them together real tightly, opens them apart, and this piece of flame, this sharp pointy little bit of flame, stretches between both of them, and he throws it at you.
Oh, I'm flammable.
Oh,
That would be a dexterity for you on that.
I'll just do better.
okay, you got this.
So that is going to be a 15 from me.
15 for you. All right. The lance of flame comes flying by you and strikes the wall next to you, and there's this nasty, acrid smell as it impacts the wall next to where you are, but you feel a little bit of heat come off of it. It was quite close and uncomfortable for you. And that is its actions this round. So I do believe that moves us down the lineup there, and that would be Anna at that point.
You're doing great, Skeech. I'm going to run into see if I can. How high is the ledge that
It
we're
is a
standing on?
significant drop down into the water,
Okay.
like concerningly significant. And
Okay,
jumping onto
okay.
the stone platform is probably not going to be that much of a better choice
Cool.
as
cool,
well.
cool.
Again, that stairwell does wind down a good chunk of the room where it comes out.
Nice. Okay, then I'm going to start moving towards the stairwell, or moving towards
It
the
would take
stairs.
all 30 feet of
Yep.
your movement to get down the stairwell.
Great. Okay, I'm gonna do that.
All right, and into the water you go.
Yep. And
It
then
is, at that point, you're now in difficult terrain and at half movement speed.
great. Okay, I'm gonna use my action to dash to the platform that's closest that has one of the glowing crystals on it.
So you would be able to move another 15 feet.
Yes.
So and
Yeah.
that would take Anna moving towards this one. 15 feet, there we go.
Oh, great. Cool.
And
Yeah,
that-
no, right in the middle. That's solid. Okay, and then I'm gonna use my bonus action to cast Divine Protection and a
Alright.
shimmer of sunlight.
Excellent.
comes out around me.
Yep,
Yeah.
as you are bathed in this beautiful, you can see that the master gets this just disgusted look on his face as he looks down at you. Like, we'll deal with that. All right.
Skin really helps with UV protection.
Looks over. He looks over towards where the platform that Anna is heading towards, and mumbles something, and you see a spark jet out from the crystals together, and 3 skeletons appear on the platform up there. And as they come out, you see the square as the spark expands. The square thing of bone appears in the middle of it for a brief second, and then unfolds into a skeleton, and that pops out. Then another one of these square things unfolds, and another skeleton pops out, and a third one pops out on the platform up there.
This would be cool if it wasn't scary.
All right, the next one in line is Vaughn.
Well, I don't like that. I wish we would have,
Modular skeleton.
yeah, figured out those square boxes.
Yeah.
We did take a couple.
Am I within 30 feet of the new additions that have just, or can I become within 30 feet?
You can move forward. If you
Can I
dash, you
stay-
can move 30 total feet.
If I stay up on the ledge, do not go down into the water, am I within 30 feet of that secondary ledge over there?
I do
Or where the
believe-
new skeletons just came through?
So I would say from where you are, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, you're about 5 feet short, as he said.
Okay. Very well. I'm going to remain on the upper area. I'm not going to proceed down into the water. I want to come as close this direction as I can to these 3 new that have just joined us.
So he's going to push the rab out of the way and come right there.
Pardon me. Excuse me. I'll use my bonus action. Same thing. Actually, a little bit different. You would see that Vaughn kind of just clenches his hand. It's a small ring that he keeps on his pinky finger, and he just squeezes it in and almost rubs it across the top of the crossbow. And I'm going to fire at the nearest skeleton that just joined from the top.
All right. Are you using the special bolt?
I'm using the special bolts.
All right.
Not activating it necessarily, though, but yes.
All right. Go ahead and make your attack.
16.
16. That would strike.
Beautiful. It's going to be 7 points of piercing,
7 points of piercing.
magical piercing, and 4 points of fire.
And the first skeleton explodes into pieces.
Great.
And I'll call out for what it's worth. I can manage these. Focus on the white.
And are there any other actions you have?
Right at this.
Okay. Back the bolt comes. All right, the 2 skeletons are going to charge at full speed down, so they're going to move all the way down to the bottom. And then they're going to be able to move up and close the gap on Anna.
It's like really difficult terrain though, so.
And up to you they are, and they begin to engage you. They each want to take a swing at you.
Great.
So I'm assuming that that didn't go too well. My highest out of all that would have been an 11.
Those both miss.
Okay. Because of the water and it's difficult to get up there, they are just like an inch out of their actual reach to hit you, and both the swings go wide on you on that. And the skeletons don't make even a sound whatsoever. It's almost unnerving that they are just that quiet and silent. The only thing that you would really hear off of these things is just the splashing of water. There's no grunt, there's no groan. They literally just are some sort of animated skeleton in front of you there. And that's going to move us down to the next in line, and that moves us over to the Reverend at this point in time.
I point at the white, and my voice becomes booming, and I say, "You have no power here. Be gone!" I cast terrible diction. Must make a wisdom saving.
Heck yeah.
And that is a straight 19 on the die, plus that is a 23.
Well, it does not have to run away, but it is going to take 5 damage, psychic damage.
5 psychic damage. All right. Track that. Actually does damage to it. Nice. Well done. And anything else that you're doing this round?
And then I'm gonna like get out of the way so that my friends can help. Is there a way to get down and kind of tuck myself under that step?
You can use your movement speed at normal till you hit the base, and then whatever's left has to be halved.
That's good.
All right.
Just be with my friends.
Hey guys. All right. Next up in our lineup there would be Damon.
I'm gonna use my bonus action. I'm gonna use what's it called? Fleet feet, and I'm gonna go 60 feet down. So I'm gonna dash.
Until it hits the base, and then you cut the remaining balance in half. Unless, does Fleet Feet ignore difficult terrain? Can't recall.
It doesn't say.
Okay, so that does not ignore it. All right, there we go.
And then I'm gonna use the rest of my movement, and I'm gonna actually start heading towards Mr. Beef Jerky.
Okay, so 15 feet forward. Now, since you are in front of one of those tables there, it's not actually that tall. You could technically catapult yourself over it and not have to move through any more difficult terrain.
Yes, I would love to do that.
Go ahead and give me acrobatics, please.
Natural 20, so 26.
Oh, golly gumbucks.
Yeah.
Okay, so Damon hits that table and catapults himself up and forward and lands on the ledge directly next to Beef Jerky Man. So just to the right of Beef Jerky friend here. And not on his face though. There we go.
And then with one of the new daggers that I just got, the beautiful, wonderful, sharpened daggers, I want to try to just slash him a little bit.
All right, go ahead and make the attack roll on that. And
didn't-
armor
he didn't
class for
insult
him,
you.
the beat is a 15.
Yeah, that's a 7.
7? All right. So Damon takes a slash, and as he comes across, it reaches out and grabs your hand and stops the blade from striking him. And it looks at the blade, and then it looks at you, and there's this look of sheer, unadulterated disgust and anger. Those are mine. And unfortunately, that is where we're going to have to end our episode. So, I do hope that you will join us again next week to see what happens. And of course, you have a wonderful week yourself. Do visit us at our Linktree and check us out on all the other episodes and all the cool things we've got going on Discord. And make sure you stop by the Guardtower locations as well. So, thank you and have a wonderful night.